welcome back to the biggest episode to date, because that is the biggest number we have hit so far.
That's right.
Number 39. Welcome to episode 39 of the Stache Club Wrestling Podcast. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. How are we? I'm feeling good. I woke up ready to pod, baby.
Yeah, I'm fucking ready to go. We have a lot of stuff on the agenda today. We have a lot of stuff to do today. We're starting off with the podcast. We're going to talk some SummerSlam. We're going to talk some more WWE, AEW stuff. I'm ready to
A lot happened on Raw, too.
A lot of stuff happened.
This is probably, 1, 2, 3.
Wow. Ooh, that's
like 3 3/4 of notes.
That's a massive
we
rundown.
Got a lot
massive.
To go
we got
through.
A lot to talk about.
To be honest, I mean, we'll start off how we usually start off. But to be honest, I'm glad a few days passed between SummerSlam and now. Like, I'm glad if we record this like Monday after SummerSlam, I'd be hot. I'd be hot. But I've gotten some time to cool down. We'll obviously get into it. But how are we? What's going on? Big week. Big week in general.
Huge week. Yeah, busy week. Doing good. Feeling great. Went to the Cape this past weekend, celebrated some birthdays. My girlfriend's siblings turned 21. Happy birthday to them.
Twins?
Let's go. Twins. Got a party bus. That was ridiculous. I don't know if anyone's listening, if you haven't been on a party bus before.
I was on one when I was like 13, so it probably doesn't hit the same.
Well, there was like a bar on it. They had like TVs everywhere. On the back, there was like a 80-inch flat screen and shit. Like, it was insane. Yeah, Bluetooth, so we were playing music the whole time. Never been on one before. If you haven't been on one before, it's expensive, but like get a group of people, like make a party. Like it's so worth it.
It was like something like this shit.
That's exactly what it was.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
That's huge.
Yeah, it was insane. When it pulled up to the house, I was like, wow, that's a lot bigger than I thought it would be. That's like almost exactly what it looked like. Yeah. So that was a lot of fun. Sat out in the sun all weekend, drank a lot.
Huge.
So I'm still tired, but like I was very beat up like Monday and Tuesday. Like I had to catch up on sleep big time.
Little Cape boy.
A little Cape, but hey,
that's awesome. I haven't been to the Cape.
So that's the thing. Like, her family's out there, and so it's like I haven't been to the Cape. Like, I can't even tell you the last. Oh no, 2 years ago I went with my family, but besides that, like I hadn't gone to the Cape since I was like a kid. You know what I mean? So we definitely, whenever we get the chance, we like to go up there, take advantage of it. And yeah, just been hanging out. Got my Dunkin' coffee this morning, ready to rock and roll. And but I think you have a big announcement to make. You have something big to talk about too.
Brother, High Horse by Raspy Taylor is out now on all streaming services.
Sir.
I'll play a second right here. Come on down on your high horse, sway like golf pole. And we're back. Yeah, really, anyone that's listened, anyone that hasn't anyone that's listened already, thank you. Anyone that hasn't listened, go check it out. Really great reception so far. Feeling very, very grateful. It's always, I was telling you before the podcast, it's always very nerve-wracking releasing a song. And it always is, and now that Stache Club has grown and our individual platforms has grown, obviously it's the first time we released a single in like a year, and now we have bigger platforms, and everyone follows me for wrestling shit for the most part. I still have like the music niche, but the bulk came from here. So yeah, everyone was very, very receptive and seemed to like it. It seemed like it went over well, which is, it's my favorite.
Love to hear that.
But yeah, big time. It's gonna be a big week, so I'm gonna be spamming that.
Yeah, if you haven't listened to it, I don't know what you're doing. Check it out right now, Raspy on Spotify.
Thank you. And last night I was at the Brent Fayez show.
Oh yeah, I saw your you posted stories. I saw your tweet late last night. But where was it?
It's at the MGM Fenway.
Oh, yeah, really?
Yeah.
Was that your first time there? You didn't like it?
Place sucks.
Really?
Awful.
I've heard great things about. No, I haven't. But I've heard great things about it. Really?
Awful.
What did you not like about it?
It's just like it's set up bad. Like it's just like It's first of all, it's brand new.
Yeah.
So you think they would take the opportunity to make it like sick.
Sure.
You walk in, right in the lobby is a bar. So the lobby is crowded.
Bad place to put a bar.
Because no one knows that there's bars once you get inside.
Bad place to put a bar.
Bad place to put a bar. And then it was like I don't know if you've ever been to like an opera house.
Yeah.
But it was like, that's how it was built. So
that's
it's like,
that's the kind of, when you posted the video, I kind of got that vibe a little bit from it.
So it was like the general like floor standing, and then one level up like an opera sort of thing with like seats. And they're like, they're like Fenway seats. So they're like your knees are at your chest.
Really?
It's weird.
That's whack.
And then
I know it's called Fenway MGM, but they don't have to actually make it after Fenway.
And then a level up, it's like the same ship. But like the second Brent came out, you're on your feet the whole show.
Yeah.
It was, and then exiting was a nightmare because it's just like you had to go like up narrow stairs, and they had a merch line the same section of the stage.
Yeah, I feel like
it was
the placement of things doesn't sound right.
Nuts. The whole time me and my buddy Ronnie went, and we were like, "What if there's a fire right now? That we're all doomed."
Yeah, I bet the what's the term for the exit strategy isn't probably that great there.
It was.
How many people can fit in there? Like 5,000?
Yeah,
a little over 5?
Yeah, that's what the bartender said. It was cool, regardless of like the venue.
I bet Brent was great. Yeah.
Unbelievable show. I've never seen anything like not one song did the crowd not sing every single word.
Sick.
It was fucking crazy.
But, all right, so
live band too. Yeah, string section with like a cello and violins.
That's sick.
Crazy.
See, I like smaller arenas like that because it's more like personal. It's more like if you're there for something, like you're there for him. Like I compare it to like a.
See, I like smaller arenas than that. Like that's a big. Okay, sure. It's not arena.
I agree. Like just 5,000 and below. Because let's say you go to like an Xfinity, right? That's 30,000 people. You're just gonna get casual.
I don't
people
like
that
stadium
go, right?
shows, yeah.
But it's like you just get like. Let's say J. Cole, for example.
Sure.
Like you have 20,000. Yeah, you heard of him before. So it's like 20,000 people. There's a good chance a few thousand are just like maybe heard one or two songs and just start going for a show. Yeah. But like for this, like everyone's going because they love Brent Fayez. Yeah. You know what I mean?
That shit was sold out like forever.
Yeah, that's cool. When did you get tickets for it? Months ago?
So my buddy hit me like a week ago and said, "Hey, did you get Brent Fayez tickets?" And I was like, "No." And he was like, "Well, you do now." So I think the person, whoever he was going with, like dropped out last second, and then he kind of slid me the ticket.
Hey, they're lost.
Yeah, but it was fucking crazy.
That's cool.
But let's dive in. Why don't you say we have so much to get to? I think that's all I had for pre-show stuff. Subscribe. Obviously, we're wearing these hats. We're teasing something.
Teasing what? I don't know.
Teasing a little something.
Yeah.
Okay. We're starting out with SummerSlam, and I want to start at the top here.
Okay.
I feel like we're gonna spend the majority of the show on this.
Yeah, I have a few things to say.
I'm ready to chat. The tribal combat match, whatever it was, Roman Reigns defeated Jey Uso. I guess I'll hit the beats just to lay the land.
Yep.
And we'll dive into it. So I have a lot of. This is my biggest section here.
Okay.
Let's see. Trying to find the notes where I put whatever. Match was fine. Typical Roman match. I don't know how you felt about it.
Longest singles match of his career.
Is that true?
36 minutes.
Wow.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yep.
I think it was one of his. Of this tribal chief reign, I think it was one of the better ones. I mean, that's not saying much because they're all kind of the same, slow pace, whatever. I thought it was solid.
It was a storytelling match.
It's a storytelling match. I guess we'll just kind of jump to the end. You guys know what happened in the match, blah, blah, blah. But then Jey is about to win. He's fucking got it. I think even after, like, there's solo interference, a lot of solo interference toward the end. Yeah. And I think even after the solo interference, Jey kind of gets the upper hand again, hits a splash and all this shit. It's about to pin him. A guy in a hoodie runs in, drags him out.
That could be.
Turns out it's Jimmy Uso.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, we're not going to hit all the beats like the match itself because there's already too much to go over. But my initial reaction with that, obviously I was on stream for it. Shout out everyone on stream that was there on Twitch. Appreciate it. Fun stream.
Yeah.
Really fun stream. Yeah, successful.
Love to hear that.
But everyone got to see my initial reaction. I thought, I don't even know where to start. I think it was a lackluster end to a pay-per-view.
Okay.
I don't know. Where do you want to start?
So,
I have so much to say.
So I'm getting to a point. So I'm catching up. So catching up in the sense of now I'm really starting to get a little, I don't know if frustrated is the word.
Okay, perfect. Let me frame this. We can start here. Let me frame this for the segment.
Okay.
Well, now it doesn't feel natural. is the Bloodline story stale at this point?
I wouldn't say it's stale. I just think we've gotten to a point where like these finishes and everything, it's repetitive. I like the whole Jimmy Jey thing. I get that, but I'll be honest, I really wasn't that big of a fan of the match. Okay. I just don't think it hit like I thought it would. Like the whole tribal combat thing, I'm thinking, okay, it's between these two. Like there's no need for interference. Solo got involved, like he's been involved in everything. And in the past, I kind of brushed that off, whatever. But now it's getting to the point where it's like, now I'm agreeing. This was a match that Roman should have just won clean, like just should have beat the shit out of Jey. Absolutely. And just prove that he is the tribal chief, the dominant world champion that he's supposed to be. There shouldn't have been, again, I like the whole Jimmy Jey thing. I think that, progresses their thing, and I think that's great. But like, I think they jumped the gun a little bit. I think they jumped the gun a little bit. Solo shouldn't have been there. Again, I get it. That's how it's been throughout most of his run. But like, I thought the match was pretty lackluster. I don't think it really did much for Jey as far as like being in the main event. Like it did enough for like him and Jimmy are gonna have like a strong story and like however that's told or whatever. But I don't know. I'm getting to a point where I'm getting kind of annoyed with just the lack of like dominant Roman Reigns wins. And someone tweeted this at me too. So he's had like high 20 like title defenses or whatever, like 29 title defenses or whatever, and only like 8 or 9 of them have been clean. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So and that's more like towards the beginning. That was like, Jey in the beginning, Cesaro, Daniel Bryan, like all
over
those,
like Matt Riddle or
right,
some
Matt
shit.
Riddle was in there, like stuff like that. And it's like, I gave them the benefit of the doubt over the last like year or so, like WrestleMania and all that stuff. But now we're getting to a point where it's like, okay, like we really need to see a side of Roman where he's like, again, he's the tribal chief. He's the number one guy. We just haven't seen that. And I really was expecting and hoping to see that at SummerSlam, and I didn't. So I guess that's why I'm kind of like, it was underwhelming to me, and I was a bit disappointed by the match. Not the result. I figured Roman was going to win. Yeah. But just overall, I thought it was going to be a lot better than it was. Yeah,
I think we're very much on the same page. Yeah, I'm happy to hear some criticism. I know we're big. I know we're big Bloodline.
I was a big defender. I'm a big. Yeah. We have the same birthday. I mean, so it's like I like the guy. I defend him. I think the whole 3-year reign thing. Like I love it. I love the history part of it. But you got to add to it. You got to make it feel important. They haven't really made it feel that important recently.
Yeah, just to basically just kind of. I mean, my notes are in the same exact order you said. I also like Jey and Jimmy. I like the idea of it, and the same thing with you. I don't, not to be a parrot here, but I just don't love the execution. I think because I also like tweeted some stuff, and a lot of people took my frustrations or criticism of the Jimmy moment that it didn't make sense. It makes sense.
No, it makes sense.
He's jealous. There's a tribal chief thing.
Right.
Jay's always kind of been the right hand man. It makes sense.
It does.
Been seeds
planted. It's been there for a long time.
But just because something makes sense doesn't necessarily automatically make it good.
Right.
One example. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I was just say. Let's see. Oh, one thing I'm nervous about. Let's see. Brought the feud with him. Sorry, I have a lot of notes. I wrote these notes. I think the Monday, either that Sunday night or that Monday, because I was like, I need to remember.
It's on your mind.
I put when Sami lost to Roman, he went on to feud with the Usos. It was a good feud, but it was a feud that brought him and kept him away from the. Okay. Sorry, I got my thoughts. So Jey lost the title match. He almost fucking had it. Yep. But with Sami, when he lost at Elimination Chamber, he went away from that main title picture and he went on to feud with the Usos. And then now he's kind of out of the Bloodline storyline. Right. I'm nervous the same thing's going to happen to Jey, where obviously he's in the Bloodline, so he's not going to be removed from it. But I'm nervous that with Jey, he's going to start facing Jimmy, and it's going to be
separated from Roman.
It's going to be so removed from the titles. Where like I want him. He pinned Roman once, and he had him beat that night. I hope it doesn't turn into like. I hope Jey doesn't take with everyone who Roman faces. I hope it doesn't put him to the side. People are starting to talk about the Fatal 4-Way.
That's what I was gonna bring up. Yeah,
seeds are very much.
He speared Solo during the match, so you kind of, seeing what they're doing there, playing the seeds with that.
I don't see it. I don't know.
I can see that match happening at like a Royal Rumble. I think
we're so far away from Mania.
There's no way they do that at Mania. Yeah. There's no way they do that. I can see them doing Jimmy J at Mania, and I think is that extending it a long time? Yes, but I do think I can see them doing like a best of 3 thing with Jimmy and Jay, maybe. Like they have a few matches on the pay-per-views that Roman isn't there, and then at Mania they can have their big blow-off match.
Well, word on the street. We'll kind of. I want to mention this after we kind of hit all these beats. Also, this is being recorded obviously before SmackDown, so.
Yeah, they're going to be on the show tomorrow. Things could be announced.
Jimmy, Jay, and Roman are all on the show, so take all this with a grain of salt. This is just our initial reactions. But also, when is Survivor Series?
Sometime in November 25th.
November, so that's
a big one. Royal Rumble is the big one because they have Payback coming up.
Okay.
A Saudi Arabia show. I'm sure Roman will be on that show. They have a few big events where they can do Roman Solo. Maybe they do Roman Jimmy. I saw a tweet that said Jimmy's going to acknowledge Roman Reigns, but I'm I think we're kind of removed from that. I think we should kind of not align Jimmy with Roman after they already kind of separate. I think you should just don't do the whole acknowledgement thing.
I like the idea of we think that Jimmy took Roman's side because he turned on Jay. In reality, it's not about Roman. It's about Jay. He still doesn't fuck
jealousy.
With Roman.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, and again, I like the idea of the Jimmy Jay thing, the whole Bloodline Fatal 4-Way and stuff, but I would have liked it. They could have waited a little bit longer. So, tomorrow on SmackDown, let's say Roman beat Jay, clean, whatever.
Okay.
They come out, whatever. Jimmy returns and comes out, and then he's you think that he's on Jay's side.
They plant some more seeds.
More seeds, and then with that, next thing you know, Jimmy super kicks Jay, and Roman's what the fuck, and then you just do a beatdown, whatever. It's you could have saved that moment for that. It made sense in the match. I get it. I understand, but I really think that they jumped the gun a little bit. Not even jumped the gun. I think they did it at the wrong time. Even though it made, you know what I mean? It made sense, but I think they could have waited, even if it's a week later. They could have waited for a better moment. But yeah, I don't know. I understand the direction they're going down. I like it, but I get brought back to the match itself and me being disappointed with how it went. That's just kind of where I sit right now. I
want to jump back to your earlier point about Roman not winning in a dominant fashion because that's my biggest thing, and you kind of touched upon it. But he is touted every single week as the greatest, as number one.
I said he was top 5 after Mania. I went on record to say that.
And maybe it's just I'm frustrated. I don't think he sniffs top 10.
I will be honest with you. I would go back on my word. No, but I would still say he's in the top 10 threshold. But I think at the time, definitely
it was a hyped up.
It was a hyped up thing. It was a hyped up time.
I get why you said it.
I would say that he is for sure top 10. But now, how everything's kind of progressed, I'm not so confident in my top 5 statement.
He's toted week in, week out as the GOAT, the greatest of all time.
He's only defended the belt once since Mania.
Yep.
And that was this past Saturday.
That was April.
That's crazy, bro. That's worse than Brock. People were complaining about Brock when he had the belt for 500 days and he never showed up. Roman will not show up, but not defending it.
He looked like
Roman's defending it less than Brock.
And when Brock won, he looked strong.
Exactly. And
Roman is one of the weakest champions I've ever seen. It's almost embarrassing.
And I don't get it. I don't know why they're doing it.
There's no reason.
There's no reason for him to have to win by these cheap interferences and stuff. I don't understand why they can't just let him get a dominant win. Does every single win have to be like that? No, there can be some shenanigans. Again, he's a heel. The shenanigans happen.
I want to touch on that.
But every single match, though, no, that's ridiculous. It's too much. The WrestleMania one, I'll give him a pass for that because it kind of gives Cody a reason to be you couldn't beat me on your own type of thing. But here is different. This should have been a dominant win. It shouldn't have been no interference.
That's what I see a lot of people's defense is, he's a heel. Of course it's heel tactics. First of all, a heel. There's no rule book where a heel has to win every single match with an entire gang. Gang
100%.
up, whatever. Also, Gunther's a heel. He's won. He's more dominant. He's better looking than Roman at this point in terms of like just dominant.
Yeah, I think that's a fair argument.
And also, yes, he's a heel, but we've never seen anything like the Tribal Chief. There's no rule book to any of this.
Yeah,
he is
Tribal Combat, the first Tribal Combat match.
Yes, he's a heel, but there's no reason why who is supposed to be the greatest wrestler of all time can't be winning matches in dominant fashion.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, I agree.
The heel excuse is, I think, like the weakest and the lamest excuse. It's just like, it's a cop.
No, I'm with you. I'm with you.
Another nitpick thing in the same line. I love Paul Heyman. I think he's the greatest
manager of all time.
Greatest manager of all time.
Talking figure.
I think he's unbelievable. I hate now. It's worked in the past, but I think it did not work for this match where he's ringside and anytime, I'll just use Jey, because that was the recent match, but anytime Jey got the upper hand, a little upper hand, Paul Heyman is pleading with Jey.
We're family.
Give him mercy, please.
Yeah,
That makes I hate that. Roman, and especially like, oh my God, I'm frustrated. Roman is the most dominant, this is all kayfabe, the most dominant wrestler superstar we've ever fucking seen, right? According to kayfabe. And Paul Heyman, Paul Heyman touts, and he's in interviews, and he goes on fucking like Shannon Sharp or
they were First Take, yes,
First
Stephen A.
Take.
Smith, yeah.
Or was it Stephen A. Smith?
Yeah, that was kind of lit though. I kind of like.
No, it's a good interview, but what I mean is like, he goes on all these shows, and he's like, oh, I'm with like the greatest, whatever, and there's no. In all of the storytelling, Paul is never worried, or maybe he is. It plants some seeds where he has a little distrust here and there.
You see like facial expressions if it's a close call or something like that.
But the whole thing is that Paul is with the most dominant wrestler in history, but how come every single match he's pleading with the opponents to show him mercy? It doesn't make, and they never like explain it. There's never like any follow-up of like, oh, Paul wants to leave Roman. It's just it makes him look so weak and pathetic.
Yeah,
it's just not needed.
I never really thought of it like that, but I do agree with you to a sense, because it's like, it's too much. Like, I understand the reasoning for it, this match, because it's like a family thing. It's like, your family, like, stop, like, why are we doing this?
People are claiming, like, no, Paul is acting and it's manipulating the opponent. That's not how it comes off.
So I can imagine that's what it's supposed to be, but it doesn't come off as that. You're right. It does, like, and I haven't thought of it, but hearing you talk about it and stuff, it does make it seem like, Roman, it makes Roman seem weaker. It's like, stop beating down the Tribal Chief. Like you're so close to beating him. It's like pleading like that. Yeah, it doesn't really make sense. It doesn't really make sense or align with how Roman's being presented or how they're trying to present him.
It would make so much more sense if, like, Jey hits a super kick or whatever, and then Paul is, like, yawning at the sideline. Yes. Would that make more sense?
That would make a lot more sense.
He's just so confident.
He goes, oh, you think that's good enough to beat him? Yeah, I understand.
And then maybe if you're getting down to the tail
30 minutes into the match, splash.
Just okay, enough. And you're finally seeing like his confidence.
A close call, and you're like, okay, enough.
His confidence can't be gone within 5 minutes of the match.
No, I'm with you. I agree with that. Yeah.
And then I want to get into something that Paul said a little more about it. But like at this point, he's going to take some. I think. Well, okay.
He might be hurt.
That's I think that's what I had at the end. Rumor is that he's injured.
Do you know what the spot was? Because I've seen some video. The dive. So
yeah,
if you watch the full thing, flip over to the outside, goes over the rope. Jey goes, and as he's about to dive, he goes, Joe.
Joe.
Kind of give him a heads up, and Roman didn't.
He is like bent over the whole time. He did not.
So when he went into it, like his arm, I think it's like a rib injury.
That's what it looked like, right?
Because that's what he was favoring. I think it's just like an awkward like landing. I think obviously he's probably gonna be fine. He doesn't wrestle more than twice a year, anyways.
That's so either with this injury or not. We weren't going to see him for 2 or 3 months.
He's not going to be at Payback.
I
think the next pay-per-view, I don't know what the next lineup is, but he definitely won't be at Payback. If it's Saudi in October, that'll probably be the next time that he fights.
and it's gonna be a bullshit.
It'll be his
match.
bloodline.
Yeah, it's not gonna be
I can
like-
see it being him versus Jimmy or some shit like that.
Oh, I even see at Saudi them doing like another, like, you know,
Tag team match or something.
Well, I was gonna say, you know how they do like did like Roman versus Logan, like some marquee.
Honestly,
fucking,
I think
like,
I might prefer that, to be completely honest with you. Change it up a little bit.
Yeah, I don't disagree.
I think they've just been doing, like, I like the bloodline thing. I like the whole like going up against family thing, but we could use a little make it a little different. Throw in someone else.
Get Sami
And
back
AJ.
in there. Get
That's the
someone,
other
you know?
thing. This is one thing I've been kind of confused about. I'm not necessarily complaining, but I'm just thinking this could have been better off. I'm kind of surprised Sami hasn't been involved in this a little bit more. Like, especially because he loved Jey. You know, like, they were super close and stuff like that. I would have imagined, like, there would have been some not even like him.
And him
being in
and
the ring.
Jimmy were best friends.
Them
so
too.
now
like,
you know.
I could have imagined some sort of backstage segments
Right.
where Sami's like hyping up Jey, like, you know, you're the tribal chief, like, you're gonna win. Even little things like that, I think, could have made the story so much better.
Benefit of a doubt, maybe something will happen on SmackDown.
Maybe,
Who knows?
But at this, I think if he hadn't shown up yet, like if Sami hasn't been involved yet, I have a hard time believing that it's going to happen now. I just think, like, it didn't make much of a difference, no, but I think if they added that tiny little thing, because even though Sami is removed from it, he was in the bloodline. He's a huge part in this story, right?
I would say he is the reason it got kicked up to this level.
He 1,000% is the reason why. I mean, like, I'm not saying it was stale before him or anything like that, but he lit a spark. You know what I mean? Like,
I'd even say it was at like a 5 when he joined. He cranked that up to a 10.
Yeah,
you know.
I mean, the segments with Sami and the bloodline and just the story is probably some of the best television, WWE television that I have personally ever seen.
For sure.
It was just weekly entertainment. Everything was perfect. It made sense. And, you know, even though he lost to Roman and, you know, he has the belts and, you know, separate himself from the Usos, I still think it would make sense if he was still involved in this some way, one way or another.
I got a couple more things for you. We'll go to this during the press conference.
Yeah.
Paul Heyman is asked by a reporter, like, you know, how much longer is this going on? Kind of where are we in the story? Blah, blah, blah. Paul Heyman
Has the audacity.
I'm glad I was looking for that word. Paul Heyman had the audacity to say, we are only at the bottom of the third inning.
Didn't he say that after Mania?
At WrestleMania, Roman Reigns said we were at the top of the third. We are just finishing the third inning, and it's been at April, the third inning started. It's August, and the third inning is closing. What are you, crazy?
I'll be honest with you, that's great timing.
I don't believe
if
it.
you're at a baseball game, that's plenty of time to get more beer because you stop serving beer in the 7th inning, so you can load up in the 3rd inning. Yeah, I don't believe that.
It's so funny.
It is funny, and I understand people's frustration being like, no fucking way, like whatever. I don't believe it. I think that he's just kind of saying that to make people think it's going to go on a lot longer. I'm still under the impression he's still losing at Mania. I'm still under that impression right now.
I mean, Paul's job is and character is, Roman is never losing these titles. So of course he's going to say like third inning.
That, right? I mean,
the third inning is
that's crazy. So actually, I'm actually going to go back on what I just said. I'm not fully convinced he's losing them at Mania yet. I think he's either going to lose Mania or SummerSlam next year. I think those are the two big events. Because
at this point, I don't know. I don't know either, man.
Because the way it's going, they're definitely going to keep this whole family thing going for a little bit, at least until Mania, because you still have Roman, Roman Jimmy. You can do that. You have Jimmy Jey. You have Roman Solo. You can even do a triple threat match of Jimmy Jey Solo. You have the Fatal 4-Way match. And The Rock might still come back and have the Mania match. I know, I'm just saying,
gotta talk about.
I hate to bring it up. I'm sorry. I know he didn't show up at Mania. I was pissed. SummerSlam. I'm pissed off about that. I think that was a missed opportunity. But I still think that is still a big possibility. I'm just putting it out there.
I can't believe I'd let you talk me into that.
I think I talked a lot of people into it. But, hey, you're the one that listens to me. You don't have to listen to what I say. But I do think that there still is a world where, like, if we're doing this full family bullshit and you're doing it for a year, the family storyline could end at Mania with The Rock, and then you start doing the whole bringing Cody back in. I could be wrong completely.
Yeah,
you're really stretching it out, but
I'm pretty off the Rock.
As you should,
as
I should too, but I'm not because because it makes sense. Like,
I will agree with you. It makes too much sense. It's a great opportunity.
And am I wrong to say that it would be a missed opportunity if they didn't have that?
No.
Right? It would be a missed opportunity.
I agreed with you last week, and I still agree with you. It would be maybe missed opportunity isn't the word, but it would. I don't know what the better phrasing. It
would elevate this reign.
It would really add to the story, but I think it's just as simple as like. I mean, granted, I'm not The Rock, but I just don't think. I think he's just done. I don't know. I just don't think he has another.
Listen, we don't know what goes through that guy's mind. We could. There's all these rumors and stuff, and he could be like, "That's funny. People are saying all these things, so I'm never wrestling again." Yeah, it's just me holding out, having faith, and just like I think that would be the ultimate accumulation of the whole like just family. Not the.
But at that point too, what does Roman beat? So Roman, I assume, beats The Rock. Let's say at this point, WrestleMania 41.
Okay.
I guess is what we're getting at.
Yeah.
Would be Roman Rock, right?
Well, I would imagine it happening at 40, this upcoming one, not 41. They could, so there's two things they could do here. They could do it. They could do like Roman Cody at 40, Roman loses, and then Rock comes out and they lead up. Doing like similar to Cena Rock, where they announced a year ahead or like plant the seeds, whatever. Or
well, yeah, let me go down your fantasy.
Okay.
How do you
my fantasy.
So he's facing him at 40.
Yes, that's what I would imagine.
Okay.
That's what I think would be the perfect time to do it.
And is the title involved?
Yes. So what I imagine is Royal Rumble. You have the Fatal 4-Way. Solo, Jimmy, Jey, Roman, okay? I don't think The Rock
we're getting down to your fantasy booking again.
I love it. This is my favorite part of the podcast. You could do a thing where like The Rock wins the Rumble, comes back, surprise thing, whatever. Or Roman beats, his 3 family members. SmackDown comes and he goes, "I've beaten everyone. Like I'm like no one in my family can beat me." Rock's music hits, that kind of, and you go into there because now they have 2 titles. You could have someone else win the Royal Rumble and go after the World Heavyweight Championship. So I'm not worried about him winning the Royal Rumble or anything like that. That's what I think would make the most sense. But I could also see, again, Roman Cody 2 at Mania 40. Cody wins, and then you start to do because Roman Rock is a big enough match with or without the belt. You don't need the belt in that.
I was gonna say I don't think they should.
It doesn't need to be, but also we could say that the belt didn't have to be involved in this entire Bloodlines. Him versus Jey and all these things. No, this belt did not have to be involved here because you're fighting over who's the tribal chief. You're fighting over the freaking what do they call it? The lay. The belt didn't really need to be involved in this, but it has been. So I kind of feel the same way with The Rock. If the belt's involved with this family now, keep it involved with The Rock, even though it doesn't need to.
But I think that makes it way obvious that The Rock is not winning. I mean, granted, he won the WWE Championship, what was that, 2015 or some shit?
Yeah, something around that time. But,
so who knows?
But granted, again, it's like I would feel the same way going into that match as I was going into Sami, going into Jey and stuff. Like, is it expected? Yes, but like there is a world where it could happen. I don't know. I agree though. I think it's a little more predictable if the belt is on the line, but just the way the storyline has been going.
But then what? But then he beats Rock, and then what?
And then he's like, "I've beaten the best."
Then who? Who's
Cody.
Next?
Cody.
Cody.
Cody. It was Cody at SummerSlam. That's when you do that. I don't know. I mean, listen. Anything that I've fantasy booked in the past hasn't happened. So like, there's a good chance everything I said, like none of that's gonna happen. But I don't know. In my head, it makes sense.
Let me steer this back to reality.
Go ahead.
Let me steer this back to reality. At this, 2 things. One. And again, SmackDown hasn't happened. I really think there's going to be a lot on SmackDown in terms of like conversations and whatever. After now, where the dust has settled, Jey Uso should have won that fucking match. I really, really think so. He had him fucking beat, and then the story is, you can have Roman wants his belts back. Jey has the belts for a little bit. And granted, Roman's taking time off, but like...
Did you notice that Paul let go of the 2 belts now? It's just the one...
I did notice that. Thank God. I think it also stems on the fact that now, and this is also me, I had this later in the pod, but it all ties in. I watched the Cody Rhodes documentary.
You did, yeah.
Did you watch it?
I haven't yet.
You need to.
I will watch it. Yeah, I heard it was
incredible.
really good.
Even just like... I want to talk about it more because it's like there's a lot to it, but after watching the documentary, and even the way, 'cause it's a WWE documentary, and even the way the producers or the editors framed it, the way that documentary was told, it's a 2-hour documentary. It is bewildering that Cody lost. It's shocking that Cody lost at WrestleMania. If you watch that pay-per-view, or not pay-per-view, the documentary,
I'll watch
you're
it.
gonna you're gonna I think you'll fall in the same thing of like, how the fuck did they not pull that trigger?
Yeah.
But I think at this point, and I hate to be that guy, Cody should have won at WrestleMania. Or Jey Uso should have fucking won. And it goes back to the thing of, I also don't think it's stale. I use the term, it jumped the shark in my tweet, which I don't believe at this point. Because I still have faith, because we've had faith for 3 years, and they told a good story for 3 years. I still have faith overall in the story.
Oh yeah, I'm not worried about the progression of the story.
Right.
I still think that even though it's like
this would have been something, it would have been something different.
I get it. Yeah. I think the beauty behind Cody losing is that it's a main event. It's a result that will be talked about until the end of it. You know, people are always gonna be like, Cody should have won. No, Roman that should have won. That was the right decision. Maybe it'll make WrestleMania 40 that much bigger. And I'm still in the camp. I said it afterwards. I was like, if they do the rematch, it's going to be even bigger. It's going to be a bigger payoff. People are going to be more on Cody. Because not only, so Cody loses, you get sympathy for Cody. It's like, oh, he should have fucking, like you're saying, he should have, I can't believe he didn't win.
Won.
And also, it makes people hate Roman more. Him holding onto this belt, this whole thing, is pissing people off. So when it finally does happen, now people are going to be hyped because Cody won, but people are also going to be hyped because Roman finally fucking lost. So that's why I think it's going to be a bigger payoff. Is it a risk? Absolutely. They fucking took a big risk having Cody lose at Mania, because that could have buried him. It genuinely could have, but it didn't. And and we'll get into the match after SummerSlam, after his thing with Brock. I think he is in a position, or he is in a much bigger light. He's going to be a much bigger threat to Roman when they fight again. He was a threat, but he wasn't that big of a threat. Now he's beaten Roman's arguably biggest rival 2 out of 3 times.
You know, I can't say I disagree.
Right? I think that they've done a good job with making him seem more legit and like putting him on the same level as Roman. Because at that point at 39, there was no one on Roman's level. Cody, like, it was a credible opponent and stuff, but he wasn't on Roman's level.
Especially 40, after being out of the injury.
I think him being out 6-7 months really hurt him. Yeah. Now, if they do the match at 40, it's going to be like, I thought it was like here, now it's going to be like, right there. If
he loses at WrestleMania 40, I might not watch.
No, if he
a year.
If he loses to Roman again, I think if I'm Cody, I'm like, I want to leave again, and I would be genuinely pissed. They can't have him lose 2 times.
So how'd you feel? I brushed upon it, so I jumped back to the Cody thing, but I think Jey should have won, man.
No, Jey should have won. I'm still on camp. I think Roman. Would have been
interesting.
I know it would have been interesting. It would have been interesting. I just don't think. I don't think that was the time to end the reign.
He's beating Hulk Hogan's record at this point. That's
why. At this point, I think they're just obsessed with history. Like they're just like their mouths are watering just watching those days go up as a champion. Yeah, no, I still think Roman should have won. I disagree with you there. I understand why you think Jey should have won. It would have been fun, it would have been fun if Sami won. Would have been fun if Cody won. But I still think Roman being champ is the right decision. That's where I stand there.
I'm glad you said that, because that reminded me of something else. And this is kind of getting more into the businessy side of things.
Okay.
This is what worries me. Capitalism, brother.
Yeah, I saw your tweet about this. Yeah. They're making so much money off of him.
The WWE right now, with Roman Reigns as champion, they are constantly, every week, they are breaking records. Attendance-wise, financially, they are breaking records every single week. From a business standpoint, if you are doing the most lucrative business you ever have in the company's history, why would, it's like Apple selling. They're up to the they're going to be up to the iPhone 15.
Yeah.
It's like them going like, you know what? We're going to open a banana stand instead.
Yeah.
Or we're going to
change things up.
We're going to make, I don't know, I tried to have a
banana
example
bread
in that. We're going to make cars now.
Yeah.
Or we're going to make, I don't know, whatever. We're going to go back to buttons on a flip phone or whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I understand what you mean.
I don't know why I keep going with examples.
You have another one?
I don't. I didn't have one apparently. But just why would it doesn't make sense for the company to see the most money they've ever made, and they're not going to change what's happening. Like, if they put the belts from a story standpoint, I think Jey should have won. And I don't love to do this all the time, but you look at the business, it would have been the biggest risk in the company's recent memory to put the belt on Jey.
Because, and
then because Roman's breaking records for the company every single week. Every single week, like, it's box office shit, it's SmackDown, and which makes me damn nervous. Because like I said, it's, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Why would a company deviate from what's making them the largest profit? But it makes me nervous he's going to hold the belt for another 5 years.
Why do you, and you saying that also makes me, want to bring up the point. Why do you think they brought in another world championship? They wanted to have another world championship, but now they can protect Roman and have Roman hold on to those belts forever and have another world championship people can fight for. I kind of look at it that way now. Of course, you had to introduce a new belt because you need a fighting champion, whatever. Right. But they also introduced that so they don't have to worry about Roman losing the belt. So they can keep it on him for as long as they want, make money off of him, and you have another world championship.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think their best bet is transitioning this effect to Cody.
That's right.
And that's the only... There's no one else. There's no one else.
Because you're right. If Jey won, it's a huge risk because now you're going from Roman headlining pay-per-views. And I don't want to... I'm not trying to knock down Jey, right? He's great. But, like, you're going from Roman to Jey. That's a decent-sized drop-off. As great as Jey is, again, I'm not trying to say anything like disrespect him. It's a big drop-off.
Because we've never seen a champion be held to this... Maybe since...
In our lifetime.
I was going to say, maybe since, like, Hogan's reign or Bruno's reign or whatever. We've never seen a champion held up to this god status. And not even saying that because that's his shtick. Like, genuinely.
No, it's true. I will tune in on SmackDown every week just to see Roman and then turn it off after Roman's done.
And that's also... And this has been talked about forever at this point. But that's the problem is there's no one else at his level. So they can't even like... back in our day, John Cena could lose the WWE Championship and sales wouldn't really be affected.
Sure.
But Roman is built up so much to this. Roman is an attraction of himself now, which is almost dangerous now. Because if Cody winning is now a risk, where if let's say Cody wins, and then who's to say that box office shit drops? Who's to say? Right.
I do think Cody is the only superstar on the roster right now that would be able to somewhat, not fully, fill the shoes of Roman if he loses because
they need to keep building them up to that
1,000% because I think you have like the live shows and stuff, and I've seen like we said with Roman like breaking records, like the live shows have been doing spectacular, and Roman isn't on any of those. Cody is the face of those, so I think Cody has a big enough fan base and following. Again, you're building him up like this. Where the point where people are going to love Cody even more because he beat the guy that people hate. Right. So people are going to be more like, they're going to be more, I don't want to say attracted because that's not like...
More like accepting?
They're accepted of Cody. It's like, okay, like maybe I wasn't a huge fan of him before, but he beat Roman. Like I'm on Team Cody now type of thing.
And what's crazy to say too is like a Seth Rollins, right? Who is like also kind of slotted into, we especially like, months ago, pre-Mania even, we talked about like, oh, Seth has got to be the guy or whatever. I could not see Seth.
No, not now.
And what's crazy is he is the best wrestler. Arguably, he's one of the best wrestlers wrestling right now. Probably the MVP of the past decade.
Seth Rollins. I agree with that.
And it's crazy to say that I can't see him taking that momentum from Roman and carrying it.
And WWE kind of put themselves in a corner slightly because when you built up Roman that much, you make everyone look minuscule next to him. It's like you actually need to, if you want to put someone on Roman's level, you need to build them up like you've built up Roman. They're kind of doing that with Cody.
They are.
But it's not as much as, like, they've really made Roman untouchable. They've done that to John Cena. Yeah, I wouldn't even say John Cena, because even he lost the title. Like, he's a 16-time champ, so he lost the title a lot.
For sure.
He'd won it a lot, but he also lost it a lot. But he was never untouchable like this. No, we haven't seen someone this untouchable literally since Hogan.
Yeah,
because he was untouchable in his time, but like now, it's
even like a Stone Cold or The Rock having a title.
Yeah, exactly.
They weren't built up to an untouchable
where they
God
like
status.
they were like still beatable. Like it's still possible to beat them. Now it's like people don't know if Roman could hold on to the belt and surpass Bruno. Like, we're getting to that point where that's a genuine thought and fear. That's a possibility, and it's crazy. I don't want that to happen.
Yeah.
I don't want that to happen, but it genuinely is. People like he might not lose because of all the things we said, the money, the people not being built up to his level. It took them 3 years to put him to this level. So it's going to take years to build up someone else to put on his level. You know what I mean?
Right, because he's only realistically, because like the Bloodline story's been going on for like, people say, and we say it, and I don't disagree with it, it's been a 3-year-long story. Realistically, though, this level of it being a story is only like a year old.
Year and a half, maybe something like that. Maybe it's
since the Hell in a Cell match with Jey.
Yeah,
maybe.
yeah.
I mean, I would argue like that was still a good part of it.
I would say the match that really did it for him was when he beat Bryan and Edge, because when he like stacked them on top of each. I think that was when that happened and I saw that, I was like, damn, they are really doing something here with him. I think that was the moment for me when I was like, okay, this is going to go on for a while.
And I think got kicked up to that story level wise. We kind of mentioned with like the Sami edition.
Then the Sami edition sparked it, had a whole new thing to it. Yeah.
So they are really, if you think about it, if they're looking at years of storytelling, I mean, bottom of the third. Now that we're talking about it, bottom of the third sounds crazy. But it doesn't sound as crazy considering they took, yes, it's a 3-year story, but realistically, a year and a half of this level, getting to this level, they're not just going to throw away a year of work to, you know.
So we're in the bottom of the third. It's in 3 years, and there's 9 innings in a baseball game. So you're telling me we got 6 years to go?
I'm scared, bro. He's gonna beat Bruno.
I'm scared, bro.
And also too, we do have 47 minutes in, but we do have other stuff to talk about. But one last thing. This is kind of just a quick little thing. I don't know. Remember when Triple H unveiled the new World Championship, and he basically, which was I thought was weird.
Buried Roman. It kind of was shitting on him a little bit.
Which I thought was weird at the time, and it's even aged weirder. Where he's like, you know, Roman's held the titles hostage, and he, you know, we need a defending champion and whatever. And that just kind of happened and then nothing. So like, I would even love if there's like, maybe they touch back into like some corporate Triple H stuff, and you know, maybe
he has to step in and be like, all right, enough's enough. Like, you have to show up more, you have to defend the belt more, and
I'm not saying like a Triple H match, but like no. If Triple H said that, like, why would he say that if they wouldn't build on
what's the word I'm thinking of? Why would he say that if you're not going to do anything, like capitalize with it or anything like that?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see what happens on SmackDown. Again, we're so much could happen tomorrow that just changes everything that we just said.
48 minutes.
So this could just be a wash. This could be a wash, but you know, that's the beauty of it.
Roman Reigns could defend the title tomorrow on
I
SmackDown.
Want a rematch. Okay, lose it.
He's gonna Chad Gable's gonna run out and challenge him and beat him. I think could happen.
That's wrestling, baby. That's WWE.
Okay.
All right, let's move on.
We have so much more to talk about, which is crazy.
Believe it or not, there was more matches at SummerSlam. Yeah.
Logan Paul defeats Ricochet, and I thought match of the night for me.
Very entertaining.
Match of the night.
Very entertaining match.
They fucking killed it. Ricochet's best main roster match by a mile.
Yeah, I'm happy he's finally getting that rub, and he's getting that recognition.
Yeah.
Also, they released a new like a render, like the poster for Raw and stuff like that, and it's Seth, Becky, Rhea, and Ricochet.
Oh, wow.
So they presented Ricochet as the face of Raw.
Nice.
Yep.
Match was great. Logan hit an insane buckshot lariat. Yeah, it was from outside the ring. I think Ricochet was a little close to him.
I think they were kind of close to the the little barricade. If they were like a little bit more like out into the open, I think it would have looked like it was sick. I think it kind of like the delivery kind of looked fucky because of that, but
it's also hard.
You know how impressive that is to flip over and then also go like that far down? Like, it's not like you're going into the ring.
Right, you
flat.
have to land on your feet and still project yourself forward into
That's
a close.
hard.
I mean, we saw CM Punk try it like 3 times.
Yeah. It was a sick move.
I thought it was a great match. I mean, God, he's Logan
great,
is
man.
just so good. It's stupid.
It's unfair.
And a lot of credit to his opponents. He's, facing Seth Rollins and Ricochet.
Ricochet's a great opponent for
facing
him,
some of the greatest in the world, but damn.
He's really good. And I love the whole just like Samantha thing at the end where she had to announce his name and he was like, one more time. Come on, say one more time. All right, I'll get you later.
He's good, man.
He's really good at what he does. I love him or hate him as a person in real life, but as a wrestler, man, you got to give the guy credit.
I think the right person won, too.
Yeah, Logan should have won that match.
Ricochet, this is the best he's looked on the main roster, but he still just didn't have that momentum. Logan Paul, needed a credible, recent, because he's won in the past, but he's needed a credible, recent memory, competitive, athletic win.
Yeah.
Well,
we've been saying Logan needs a win. He's lost so many times in a row. It's if he's there, you're trying to build him up a little bit. You got to give him these wins.
Cody Rhodes defeats Brock Lesnar. We kind of touched on it earlier. I thought this was good. I liked their Night of Champions match better.
I'll be honest. I think this was my match of the night.
Yeah?
I really enjoyed this match. I loved the ending. I loved the way Brock, like his ripped up pants and shit like that. It just looked like a legit fight. I loved everything about it. I really did.
And just yell, what I loved too, and it kind of bled into the ending of he's, throughout the match, he's beating the shit out of him, tossing him out of the ring, yelling, stay down. And then that matched with the ending with like the handshake or whatever. Now that comes off to me is like, Brock had respect for him before that match.
Yeah,
It didn't take that match for him to give respect for him. So I think he was genuinely like pleading with him of like, I care about you is a funny word, but like, I care about you. I don't want to hurt you.
I don't want to hurt you.
Please don't make me do this to you. So I think there was already a level of like, I guess respect almost, where that made that moment seem that much better. It wasn't just Brock being cocky and like, maybe it was. This is kind of how I'm.
Yeah, no, I get it.
Of like, stay down because you don't want this. But I read it now more of like just like, don't fucking make me do this to you. Like,
I get that. My only real complaint about this match is I don't understand why they had 3 matches and not a single one had a stipulation. I just really think like, especially this last match, I think that's the perfect one to have a stipulation.
Well, the biggest criticism of it was that like Cody used stairs and it wasn't a no DQ match. And
right.
Cody's using stairs and shit and he didn't get disqualified.
Maybe there's I feel like for matches like that, there's a lot of leeway where you can just kind of like get
that's why I like how like AEW kind of leans on like the commentators be like, the ref's just letting them go. The ref is letting them fight,
The ref knew those two guys were just fighting each other, just let it happen. Yeah, I didn't really think too much about it, but I understand.
Cody hits 3 crossroads to win. And then again, Brock shakes his hand, gives him a hug at the end. Massive show of respect.
So apparently that wasn't...
According to Cody on Raw, he said that was not planned.
That's
which
cool.
I don't believe.
I believe...
I'm 50-50.
I believe that he didn't expect Brock to... He was saying, like, I thought Brock was going to start swinging at me. I don't believe that. First of all, that's a little bit like Brock, like, just taking care of business on his own and just going away from everything. That was never going to happen. But I do believe the whole, like, handshake, arm raise thing was unplanned. That I believe.
I could believe it. I'm not going to say I do believe it, but, like, I could believe it.
Maybe Brock was going to give him like a
didn't expect maybe the hug. Maybe the hug.
Maybe he was expecting like a nod or like a salute or something, not the hand being raised and stuff.
I get behind that.
Yeah, but either whether it was planned or not, super cool moment. That's like that is in a way a passing of the torch type of moment.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean?
Who has Brock Lesnar ever gave that rub to in terms of like respect? You beat me. I mean, maybe you could. I don't know if he ever did that sort of.
I don't think he did it with Roman. No. Yeah, I don't know. Very cool moment.
LA Knight
Yeah.
wins.
Fuck yeah, baby.
I'm honestly not as excited.
Let's go. It's about damn time, baby. He got his fucking win.
And his win was the Slim Jim Battle Royal.
Come on, baby. I love Slim Jim.
You excited about him winning the Slim Jim Battle Royal?
I love it, dude. If he lost this match, I would have fully given up hope that they're pushing him.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
They
They
made this match because they had the sponsorship at Slim Jim. They made this match for LA Knight.
Yeah,
he wasn't on the card. They want him on the card. They want him to win. Do you hear that crowd when he came out, bro?
Yeah.
Oh my God. People love him. He's so good.
I wish, again, I'm still in the, especially now. I mean, I get it. Damien's using it. It makes sense, whatever. I wish they took the prior 2 opportunities to give him a better win. Because I think the Slim Jim Battle Royal is just, we see these Battle Royals. I am glad he needed this win. I'm glad he got the win. I'm glad it took something. I'm glad anything was the start of the push. Because I was giving out, I still don't have the highest hope.
Sure.
But my hope is a lot more has returned, you know?
Would I have preferred him winning Money in the Bank? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But I'm just happy that they finally gave him that win because, again, like, they hear it. They hear the reception. They hear everything. Like they
see the T-shirt.
You see the T-shirt sales, numbers. And I don't want to get into Raw or anything like that, but just he was a SmackDown guy. The brand splits over. That's over and done with.
Michael Cole is announcing on both shows.
Yeah, so shout out Michael Cole.
We'll talk about it later.
Talk about that. LA Knight's on Raw. I'll tell you what, man. They're leading him away from SmackDown where that belt is with Roman. They're putting him on the brand where there's this other world belt. I don't want to look too far ahead. I don't.
The world title picture looks fun. They got some people
world title picture looks fun. Yeah. I think if they keep building him up and they keep going at this trajectory, I can see LA Knight winning the Royal Rumble in January and challenging for the World Heavyweight Championship at Mania. I can see that. I really can see that.
I think he's going to win. Well, the U.S. title's on SmackDown, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Weird.
That's what I'm saying. The brand split.
Because he should have won he should win the United States Championship.
That was the hope. But
interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. The whole brand split thing's confusing, but I'm just happy LA Knight won because now they can kind of ride that momentum.
I'll tell you, I got real nervous when Omos entered. Got real nervous. He was the surprise entrant or whatever.
And I was so happy that they all threw him over.
The final, I forget what the final 5 was, but the final 4 looked mean. Sheamus, Bronson Reed, LA Knight, AJ Styles. Now,
I feel bad that they had to throw AJ in a
AJ Styles, you could argue AJ Styles and Sheamus should not be in this match.
More AJ than Sheamus.
More AJ than Sheamus, but especially Sheamus coming off what was arguably match of the night at WrestleMania in the triple threat.
Yeah. He's kind of been brushed under the rug.
He has, unfortunately. But yeah, a huge win for LA Knight. I'm happy. And then, I mean, we can even talk. I want to talk about Raw because it's going to save us time, to be honest.
Yeah, let's do it.
Him and The Miz are feuding.
That is the perfect guy for LA Knight to feud with.
Great.
The promo battle was awesome. Miz said some shit that is true.
Bro.
He speaks the truth.
I'm low-key. I made a tweet. It got a little misread. I said that The Miz... I said it watching the TV show. I was like, damn, The Miz. I don't know if The Miz is the best opponent for LA Knight because he's saying some truth, which is like watching the TV show is like, yes. But yes, Miz is the perfect opponent. It's these two guys who are at the top of their game on the mic.
Yep.
The Miz has a chip on his shoulder. It's been building for a couple years now. And we are big Miz guys. We are big Miz defenders. I think his Intercontinental Championship run was arguably one of if not the best IC title run. The matches during that time he put on were bangers.
His 2016 run was something different. That was something different.
There was a lot of line. I mean, when the Miz leans into it and he's like, he turns it up to a 10. He has one of the best fucking promos.
Dude, when
he's so fucking good.
When he's like on his game, he's arguably the best on the mic in any company.
I would
disagree. I'm not like MJF and all that stuff. He's fucking obviously on a level of his own. But man, the Miz, he's also on a level of his own.
He was talking a lot about his come up and like, you know, how no one believed in him and, you know, and again, this is why I said it. The Miz brought up some fucking good points.
He did.
just again, this is me. I don't even know. I shouldn't even need to preface this anymore. But like, watching the TV show. Man, I'm rooting for the Miz. I want the LA Knight push zoomed out business, like podcaster talking wise. But like, kid watching the TV show. Man, the Miz, I fucking want to see the Miz on top.
There's a lot of sympathy for the Miz, and even you can even hear it when he was talking. Again, passionate. People cheer him.
Oh yeah,
because people know he's telling the truth and stuff. But I think what was great is how LA Knight also responded to it and stuff, because he was talking about like how it took him so long and stuff. He goes like, you came in here and like the difference between you is you came in here early, but they pushed you around. You took it. He goes, I wasn't gonna take it. He goes, I had to go my own path. And he goes, now I'm here. Like I ain't taking anything from anyone. Like. I love that. My favorite line that he said, I think it was one of his closing remarks. He said, he brought up the locker room thing again. Yep. Or no, I'm sorry. He brought up, because Miz is like, I'm a former, world Grand champion. Yep.
And LA Knight said, you got pushed right away because you were safe. Yes. And you were like this, that, and the other. And they knew that you weren't a risk. They, whatever. It's taken me this long for them to take a chance on me because I'm dangerous.
Yes. I like that.
Dangerous.
I love that, bro. Woo! That's a side of LA Knight that we haven't quite seen yet. That's some serious shit right there. I just think this is the perfect feud. Just perfect guy to like have these promo battles. You put each other over, really. Because Miz is helping put him over, and also LA Knight is putting the Miz over in a way. I'd imagine LA Knight would win the match between the two, because Miz, I love the Miz, and I'd love for him to kind of get back into that like title picture where he's getting wins and stuff. But he's also a guy like he's gotten to a point where he is so solidified and he's so like everyone knows how good the Miz is that he can eat a million losses and still like he hasn't won since God knows when. And people took him as serious this past Monday as they did in 2016.
I mean, it is like almost acknowledgeable, credible. It says something about the Miz that they're like, we're pushing this guy. We need someone to match him up with. They trust him, and they know he's a good worker. And again, it really says something to who the Miz is. They're like, well, we need fucking someone. You're the guy. I mean, it's how Dolph Ziggler would start off feuds with people to elevate them, because Dolph Ziggler could fucking go in the ring with anyone. Yeah, I'm excited for this. I wouldn't even mind if they do like a really extended feud with
like
this.
Like a best 2 out of 3 type
Miz,
of thing.
Miz gets one,
like
LA Knight gets one.
Or something. Yeah,
sure. I think this can be a big feud.
I agree.
Shayna Baszler defeats Ronda Rousey.
Now we want to talk about this match.
In an MMA rules. Yeah,
I honestly could care less about this match.
It was weird.
It was something.
It's like they were doing an MMA style match with the WWE scripted choreography, and it just didn't work. They should have just had an MMA match.
Yeah,
low-key.
it didn't work. It didn't hit for me.
The right person won.
Right person won. I'm happy that Shayna won, but like, this is such a forgettable match. It's a very forgettable match. Yeah. I don't even think WWE knew what they were doing going into this match. I think they just kind of announced MMA rules match, and they were like, day of, they're like, so what do we do here? Yeah, it's like, what are we supposed to do?
We don't have an octagon. We don't know.
This was I don't want to be disrespectful, but it was a snooze fest for me. You even saw there was a video of all the fans going to the bathroom during this match.
It was, I didn't love it. I'm probably not as hard on it because I kind of like the idea of Ronda exiting the company on an MMA match, I guess.
Sure, okay.
And I like Shayna, being the one to take her out. I mean, Shayna felt huge following on Raw. Like Shayna feels big right now, which I think is.
So I wasn't a fan of the match, but I'm a fan of the potential payoff.
Sure, yeah.
I think the right person won, and I think now they can really start pushing Shayna and make her more legit than she's ever been in years.
Gunther defeats Drew McIntyre in what was a really solid match. I don't think it lived up to the hype.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It was solid.
It was fine. It was a good match.
I mean, they were whacking each other.
Two big boys.
Were beating each other
big
up.
Boys.
I'm glad Gunther won. I think Drew was credible. I could have seen Drew winning.
We've talked about this. I think it was just kind of, there wasn't enough build up to it. If it was like something months in the making, like Drew just came back. You know what I mean? Like if there was more build to it, I could have seen it. But also we're 30 days away from Gunther breaking the record. So I had a hard time seeing Drew being the one to end it.
Yeah, I don't have much more. It's just that was just a good match.
It was a good match.
Really not much to
it was a solid match.
We'll talk about what's next for Gunther. on Raw when we get to it.
Yep.
But holy shit, we have two. This is a massive match to talk about.
Yeah.
I think our thoughts are actually similar on this, but I think you would want to take the reins to start this one off.
Okay.
Seth Rollins defeats Finn Balor.
You had Seth winning this, right?
Correct.
Yeah, you did. That's
what
I
the
loved
tape
what
is
you
still
did.
on.
I loved what you did with that.
Well, yeah. I had to. You won't bring the belt.
I gotta go
You gotta
home right
get
now.
the belt.
I will. I was shocked that Seth won.
Me too.
I really was shocked that Seth won. I
want you to go off, but let me preface this
go ahead.
with Finn should have won that match. I had Seth. I'm glad he won me. Well, we ended up tying, but he defended the predictions championship for me because I knew in my heart I knew Jey wasn't gonna fucking win, but I wanted to have the boyhood dream. I wanted to choose Jey.
Yeah.
It made it more fun. He almost fucking won, but Seth winning did retain my predictions championship, as you can see up there. It's standing up there. But no, Finn Balor should have won this.
It was.
match.
Listen,
unless you think different.
No. I think Finn should have won. Seth is my boy. I love him to death. And I was saying, like, it would have sucked because he just won the belt. I would have liked him have a decently long reign, which now the match is removed. Like, I'm happy that he's going to, he still has and he can, keep defending it, whatever. But man, oh man, would that have been the best time for Finn to win a world championship. He had the 7 on his shoulders, 7 years.
With like the scar painted with the 7.
Seth came out wearing the same attire that he wore 7 years ago. Finn Balor did the same move to Seth that injured Finn during the match. Like, it was great. And the moment where he Dom and everyone got involved and then Finn took advantage and he hit the coup de grace and Seth kicked out. I like watching it. Like, obviously, I knew the result before I saw on social media what happened. But, like, I saw that and he kicked out. I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
Even though I knew the result, I'm like, that should have been the moment that Finn won.
And even, like I didn't mind the Judgment. Because the Judgment Day involvement makes so much sense.
It makes sense.
If you're going to do it, excuse me, looking at the bloodline here, that's how you do an interference.
Yeah, that is how you do it. Exactly.
Seth still... I mean, yeah, well, granted, I guess, because Finn was the one that had the interference and he lost, whatever. But it didn't take away from the match. It added a lot to the match. I think it would have, they're still telling the story with Damian. And Damian, it's almost a meme now where you see, the Damian disappointed face.
Yeah.
And then, so, I guess to kind of cover some more of it, which I don't think this went over too well, but Damian, it's toward the end of the match, Damian gets on the apron and he's motioning the briefcase toward Finn.
Yes.
And then one of the commentators was like, oh, he wants to cash in. And the other commentator's like, no, he's trying
to help him.
He's gonna give the briefcase to Finn to you. It was
confusing.
That didn't come off well what Damian's intentions were at all. But anyway, it led to the distraction, whatever. Seth ended up hitting the stomp on the briefcase, which was fucking sick.
Yeah, that was a good ending.
1, 2, 3, and then that led to. I mean, Damian just looked fucking pissed. Whether, and again, because that moment didn't go over well, whether that's a moment of he's disappointed that his who's supposed to be the leader couldn't get the job done, or he's pissed that Finn screwed him out of a potential cash-in opportunity because the briefcase was now in the middle of the ring or whatever. I don't know how I was supposed to read it. Right. But regardless, Damian's pissed. Finn winning the belt.
It would have been perfect.
It would have made It would have made way more... What am I trying to say? It would have made more sense for Finn to win the belt, and now you have the Damian looming. Because now Damian and Finn are just feuding. I don't want to see why would Damian cash in at this point? What is there? He's so far removed from Seth now, where it's all just Judgment Day feuds. And if Finn won, they could have had this really cool Judgment Day
thing. And I told you I would have loved to see all 4 of them holding on to something, even if it was for a month. I would have loved that. Yeah, I mean, I get it.
And also just for Finn, man, it's been 7 years.
I felt
out.
that. I bet you
he deserved it.
He has to feel some sort of way. Would have been such a great moment. And bigger picture, I get it. you kind of extend the Judgment Day feud. Like now it's like there's more cracks. Like now I don't want to get into Raw so much,
please.
but JD showed up and stuff like that. And now he's like talking and he's just like, it seems like, that briefcase has gotten between you. I would get rid of it.
Right.
So I think that kind of starts playing the seeds of, okay, a Money in the Bank cash-in is looming and it's coming sooner than later.
But it does seem now they're like, because JD hasn't been involved. We haven't seen
This is the first time he showed up in months.
So it's like, it does seem like they're backpedaling a little bit where it's like, remember JD? Remember he was causing rifts? Remember Finn's like, and also too on Raw, they had the tag match at the end of the night. And maybe it's because they're a team and they can kind of work with their eyes closed, but like, if they're butting heads and they're planting these seeds, Finn and Damian were working pretty well in sync, hitting tag team moves and shit. And it's like, it's all very confusing. We thought they were going to pull the trigger with the split months ago. And I think they eased off it for a good reason because they were hot.
Right. And they still are.
They still, for sure.
They still are. But yeah, it's just one of those moments. I mean, it's kind of similar to the whole Bloodline thing where it's like you had a great moment, like a Sami or something like that, or Cody. You had a great moment of someone beating Seth for the belt, and the story can go in a whole different direction. But
and again,
they went with the safer route.
This is the belt people should be losing. This shouldn't be.
It's a belt that's defended a lot, so it should be. There's a bigger chance of him losing it.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Especially with all that interference and stuff, it just seemed like the perfect time for Seth to lose. It didn't make him look weak. Just like it was 4v1.
And then it makes like the Judgment Day story so much more interesting. I don't know. I mean, they're teasing Cody being in the World Heavyweight Championship picture.
They're on the poster for Payback, all of Judgment Day. I don't know if you saw the poster for it. It's just the Judgment Day on it. So obviously they'll have a big involvement in that pay-per-view somehow.
I'm curious what Seth's next move is, or his next opponent. I get maybe Shinsuke. Probably Shinsuke.
I think Shin kind of seems like the next guy.
I hope he wins. We'll talk about it.
Yeah,
more,
we'll get to that.
Damn, I hope Shin wins. Anyway, last match we're going to talk about. We already talked about the main event. Obviously, for 40 minutes, Bianca Belair defeats Asuka and Charlotte for the WWE Women's Championship, adding a little notch on her belt, and then Iyo fucking Sky, her themed with the or however the fuck it goes, runs in, cashes in, hits her moonsault.
Beautiful. Best moonsault in the business.
Beats Bianca 1-2-3 to win the WWE Women's Championship. This was fucking awesome.
Great moment.
This was sick.
Such a great moment.
She looked so fucking happy. It's one of those moments, I'm not gonna say it is rare, where like you finally see the person win it who deserved it.
She deserved it.
And who, she is, I think she is one of, if not the best women's performer right now. But in terms of like WWE, their top women were in that match. It was Asuka, Charlotte, Bianca. Becky's a top woman. Bayley's a top woman.
Yep.
Iyo,
she doesn't have the name value of those people, but as far as in-ring talent goes, she's right on the same level as them, I'd say.
But it's nice to see them going down to like that they have their A list with like the Charlottes and the Biancas.
Their top
nice
tier.
To see to take like the B list household name and like give her the belt. You can tell how much you could see the childhood dream come true.
You could see how happy Bayley was for it. You could see Dakota. And
Dakota came in. Oh my God,
love that, bro. Such a nice touch.
I am over the moon.
You could just tell how happy they were for her, and that's genuine. And like you say, like you give it to a B level person. That's how you turn a B level person into an A level person. And I think that's exactly what they did here. And she looks so good with the belt too.
There's a picture. I don't know if I can find it. Like there's one of her just like holding it up, and like this is what I love is when like you see like this is it when she first wins it holding it up, the look on her face, this is when it becomes like she's not, I don't know what her real name is, but she's not Iyo Sky here. Right, she's that person that was in, I don't know a lot of her history. I think she was in New Japan or Stardom.
Yeah.
That always came in WWE, was in NXT, like this person that dreamed of winning the title. And when this happens, you see the character break and you're like, oh, we just witnessed a dream come
that's
true.
The face I would make when I win the predictions belt for the first time. But no, it's like genuine because you're saying like you're detaching the character from the person. Like, when you're when you grow up, like it's your dream. Like obviously, like there's these other wrestling companies and stuff like that, but like WWE has always been the wrestling company.
Right.
So it's like, I'm not speaking for her, but I feel like a lot of these wrestlers, their dream is to always been a WWE champion and being the top champion for the top company at least. And that's what Iyo Sky did. That's what she accomplished on Saturday, and it couldn't have happened to a better person. She's so deserved. I'm so happy for her.
I'm excited to see what comes next. I think she's gonna have a great run. I mean, her and Asuka gotta go.
Come on.
Now, interesting. I think I'm surprised and I'm not, because obviously now Bianca just has another notch on her belt where she technically won the title, so she's got another, reign.
Yep.
Which she is now, I believe, the shortest women's champion in history.
Sure.
Surprised they just didn't give it to Charlotte.
Yeah, so I tweeted, I don't know if I tweeted, but maybe on the podcast I was talking about Charlotte winning it, and someone tweeted at me and they were like, oh, so like Bianca doesn't, it's fine. I'm like, it's a lot different than Bianca doing it in Charlotte, because now it's like, if Charlotte did it, she's one closer to 16, which is like such a cheap way of doing it, you know what I mean? Listen, I'm fine with Bianca winning and then getting pinned right away. I mean, she's obviously Bianca.
Someone had to win.
Someone had to win. Yeah. Bianca's obviously being presented as like the next like big female superstar. Like obviously there's still Charlotte and Becky and all that stuff, but Bianca's like, she's still newer compared to those other ones, right? So, she's going to be the face of the women's division for a while. Mm-hmm. My one gripe, thank you, that's the word I'm thinking of, was that Asuka got the pin. I don't like that Asuka got pinned. I really wish Charlotte got pinned or like anything like that. I wasn't a fan of Asuka being pinned.
Because that was our whole thing going into this match, is like, we want Asuka to win. We both had Asuka, but we want her to look strong and whatever. I wish it honestly would have made more sense if she retained and then Iyo gets the cash.
Because then it's like, okay, she was like weakened, like she's beaten down. Like, okay, like that makes sense that she lost. She lost on a roll up.
Well, that, and it gives more story to build to. And granted, we're just this hasn't been announced. There's been no tell of this, but we want Iyo versus Asuka.
Right.
So if Asuka gets pinned on the cash in,
there you go.
Then there's more of that feud. You have it right there.
I'm with you.
So maybe, they'll probably end up doing Iyo and Bianca, to be honest.
So I that's what I think, but like if because they were playing that Bianca was hurt the whole match. Also incredible selling by Bianca faking that knee injury.
She went out with the medics and then she did like the hulking up thing.
Dude, some people like I saw tweets because I wasn't watching it live. I was away, and people were tweeting like, "Oh my god, like Bianca's hurt, whatever." Like some people legitimately thought that she was hurt. So initially I was like, "Oh wow, she did get hurt." So I don't know if they'll play like into the like kayfabe, like if they'll like continue like, oh, she's hurt right now type of thing. But my hope is that they do Iyo Asuka. Like that's just money feud. Also,
I would be fine if they do Iyo Bianca. Iyo wins and then do Iyo Asuka.
Sure. Eventually they have to. When Io's champion, they have to do Iyo Asuka. For sure. Now I don't know if you saw this. This is kind of like unrelated, but like Kairi Sane rumored to have re-signed with WWE.
That's what I'm hearing.
So
that's what I'm hearing. I've tried.
There's a lot of history with like her and Asuka and stuff like that.
So what was like? I was on like I tried not to look at too many reports like that.
I know, yeah.
But when I was on stream, everyone like I think it was on stream. Yeah, everyone. I think before the show because that news broke. I think like that day.
I think it was either the day of or day before. Yeah.
So people in the chat were like, "Bro, hear the news? Kairi Sane's returning tonight."
No,
and I'm like, I'm trying to avoid it. And then, but then now that after the show, I realized like the news was just like, oh, she's rumored to have re-signed or has reported re-signed.
There's no confirmation.
Like, okay, so no, she wasn't gonna return that night. Yes. Everyone's like, she's returned, but I hope that's true. Is it a report or is it a rumor?
It's a report. I think it's pretty, and she's on like a hiatus from whatever company she was in. Like she isn't wrestling for them anymore. Yeah. So it's kind of like it aligns.
God, I fucking love Kairi.
I mean, it was a shame that she left years ago. I mean, she was amazing. So that'll be cool if and when she does return. But
oh my God, Kairi versus Asuka.
That's what I'm saying. Bro. That adds a whole nother like element to the women's division. Like just another amazing performer. Yeah, the women's division's great. They have a lot of great talent right now.
A couple spots about the match. When Bianca came in, she hit a crazy 450 splash on top of Charlotte doing the figure eight on Asuka.
I think that was the best spot of the night.
Crazy.
She hit that
That was
perfectly.
nuts.
There wasn't a single, like, she was like a little bit to the left, a little bit to the right. It was on the fucking money,
crazy.
dude. It was so good.
Asuka hit Charlotte with the mist and blah, blah, and that's what got the roll up. Also, my one note about, I think, I'm not sure, this is my kind of me speculating, but it almost became a meme at that point of Charlotte winning to pad her stats, where I think WWE might have seen that and not wanted to just add fuel to the fire.
Well, that's what I'm
and
saying.
Maybe just went with Bianca.
If they had her win, I just would have been annoying.
Yeah.
That's like she's chasing history, and that's how, like, one of them, you have a minute reign. Like,
right.
come on.
I think she has one or two of those, like, I think she has a couple, like, shitty, like, technicality ones,
so back when the Raw woman, like her and Sasha were, it was hot potato. Every month it was like them going back and forth type of thing, like that, obviously. And, you know, granted, Cena has a few of those as well. Like, he had a few hot potato, like with Edge and Orton and all those guys. But yeah, I think it just would have been a cheap way to get her closer to 16.
Yeah.
And she's so good, she doesn't need these cheap ones. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. It would. Yeah. I mean, we talk about credibility with Roman too. If you're gonna build her up as the greatest woman superstar of all time, you gotta give her these. The numbers gotta be credible,
right,
for the most part.
I agree.
Again, we've already touched on it, but thanks to Seth Rollins, John, I just have this in my notes. John retains the SCW Predictions Championship via a tie.
Yeah,
we did tie.
Well, we had a lot of the same.
Yeah,
we had a lot of the same
up to the final.
The two world championship matches.
But yeah, man, I don't want to. I'm said hassle, take it off the wall now, but
there it is.
Come on, I'll see you at
All In.
All In's the end of August.
Yeah, there it is.
Which we'll talk about it way at the end of the show. Okay, I did want to touch on the Cody doc. I know you haven't watched it, so I won't talk too much about it. But yeah, it's fucking incredible. Even just hearing him talk about his dad and just like candidly, it's tear jerking. Yeah. He even, what's nice is they do talk about AEW by name. A little bit.
Say
they do. They do. They even use a picture with like there's an AEW logo on the turnbuckle they use of Cody.
Interesting.
Triple H takes a little bit of a shot.
I did hear that.
We wanted to bring him back, you know, something, the secondary or a secondary company would have a little bit of a.
Even Tony Khan responded to that when he was talking about All In. He was just he goes for a secondary company selling out all these tickets and stuff. Like,
I love
it's petty on both ends, but yeah. I love it. It's funny.
He says in the documentary, he says he left AEW. This is when, you know, like in the teaser where he's like, don't edit this out. I don't want anything edited out. This is what it was of him leaving AEW.
Gotcha.
And he says he'll never say the actual reason.
So I heard that him and Tony have like an agreement that neither of them will speak on what happened for their exit.
Wow. Because he says the only thing is he left because he said like, you know, he had some unfinished business here. He wants to win the world title, whatever. But the reason he left AEW is for a personal reason, and that's all he'll ever say about it. And he said like it's not, you know, he said there's rumors going out like, you know, it was because I was butting heads with this person or because of this, and he was like, it's not because of what anyone thinks, just a personal issue, which I don't, you know,
and we'll never find out.
We'll never find out. I don't even.
That's interesting.
I don't want to speculate. I was saying we could sit here because we could sit here and just shoot
the shit out of it, and we could just be completely wrong.
Yeah, but yeah, it's definitely a really good.
All right, let's talk about the real GOAT,
Michael fucking Cole, taking over Raw and SmackDown duties. He's got to be. I think we both like simultaneously quote tweeted that thing saying he's the GOAT.
Oh, did you tweet it too?
I saw yours after.
That's hilarious.
He's
the GOAT, bro.
I think he's the greatest.
Listen, the JRs, the Jerry Lawlers, I understand. Even
I don't. Even Jerry
but I understand like the argument because it's like you know like nostalgia, like growing up like Jerry and Jim Ross are my guys. I want to give love. Joey Styles, I think, was great. Even Vince McMahon when he was younger, Jesse Ventura. Like, there's a lot of great ones. Mm-hmm. But you want to talk about longevity?
I think Tony Schiavone is up there too.
Tony Schiavone is up there too. Yeah. Talk about longevity. The guy in his entire run in WWE, it's 20 plus years, has missed 2 shows.
That's true.
2 shows. Holy shit. In his entire career.
That's bonkers.
2 shows.
That's nuts.
You know how committed you got to be? Now, and not for nothing, Raw and SmackDown, that's incredible. They got this dude traveling all over the place.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so much love to this guy. He's the best. And like over the last few years, like, and I give Pat McAfee credit for this. It's like his love for wrestling has. So I miss Pat. Yeah. I do like Wade Barrett a lot. I think
Wade's good.
I think he's a good complimentary commentator with Michael Cole, but Pat McAfee really just lit like a spark underneath Michael Cole, and like I feel like rejuvenated him kind of. And I hope Michael Cole. I hope he does this until the day he dies because he's so good at it. I have so much respect for him. He's the best.
I think JR is the most talented.
I think he's the most iconic.
Sure,
like,
yeah, it's like kind of the same thing.
By God, like shit like that. Like
I genuinely think Michael Cole is the greatest, and not even. I mean, just from a pure numbers standpoint, like everything you said. But also he's good. I mean, he did have that stint where like I remember like in like the mid 2010s where everyone like hated him.
Well, that's because he was actually playing a part to storylines.
Yeah,
stuff
sure.
Like that. But like that was his character and shit like that. But yeah, I understand that.
But I mean, and he has gotten in the ring too, and
he has a win at WrestleMania.
And you hear him now where his voice is hoarse after every pay-per-view. He's had some. He's just what's crazy is after 20 years. I would say he's in his prime now. He's just getting better, you know?
Who am I to say that you're wrong? I can't argue with that.
Unbelievable calls. Like, I think...
You can see the videos of him, like, where he's, like, standing up and he's, like, screaming into it and shit like that.
I think he's the greatest of all time. I really do.
I do, too. I really do. Okay.
Monday Night Raw, I'll be honest, I wish Raw wasn't as good of a show as it was.
It was really good.
Because we are at... coming into an hour and a half, and that's Monday Night Raw was a great show.
It was a really good show.
I wish it wasn't as good because we wouldn't have to talk about it. Raw starts with setting up a classic will they coexist tag match, Judgment Day, Sami, Seth, Cody, which we'll get into what happens later, but regular start to Raw.
Cody coming out and talking and stuff, and he goes talking about how Brock...
Oh, that's true. He did talk about
and
Brock
he said it, and he says acknowledge.
Yes, Brock Lesnar acknowledged to me.
Just, it's such a little thing.
Yes.
But even the crowd picked up on it. You could hear them like, ooh, like just the little seeds, bro. That is perfect.
I'm glad they're still keeping, like, he's still focused, regardless of all that's happening. He knows what his goal is.
He knows. He hasn't lost sight of it. And then Seth comes out, and, you know, we're thinking that that's going to set up the next match. And then obviously Judgment Day, all that stuff, so.
And then Chad Gable defeats Ricochet, Matt Riddle, and Tommaso Ciampa in
fucking incredible match, man.
If this went for 5 or 10 more minutes, it would have blew anything on SummerSlam out.
Could
have
been match of the year.
It was fucking
It was
unreal.
so entertaining. Just something always happening. I love their whole like. They were all hitting like the roll-ups and stuff, moving around. It was like a wrestling match.
Yes.
Like it was a really good wrestling match.
It was a match full of wrestlers.
Oh man,
it was so good.
And
the right one won.
They were in his hometown too. And stuff.
I didn't know that.
They were in his hometown. Obviously his kid after the match. He has his kid who was in the singlet and stuff like that.
Yes. Okay, I did see that.
Oh
yes.
Fuck, dude.
Here's what I'll say. I'm not trying to compare apples to bananas here. I am way more happy, excited, enthusiastic, hyped for the Chad Gable push than I am the LA Knight push. I honestly don't like. I don't want to be hyperbolic for the sake of it. I love the LA Knight Miz feud. I love what they're doing with LA Knight. Now that Chad Gable is doing what he's doing, I could give a shit about LA Knight.
That's fair.
Love what they're doing with Chad Gable, and it's come up like they saw it like. And it's not to LA Knight's fault. Where like LA Knight's been stop and go for a few months, and now they're finally giving it to him. I'm excited for him. I'm happy for it. I think LA Knight's great. I'm a big LA Knight fan. But Chad Gable had that banger with Gunther, and then I think backstage and the crowd and everyone's like, oh shit! Remember, Chad Gable is one of the best to ever do it.
He's arguably the best. You can make an argument. He's one of the best wrestlers on the roster, if not the best.
And then they went into this Fatal 4-Way match, and they pulled the trigger right away. And they're pulling the trigger. Chad Gable is going to face Gunther for the Intercontinental Championship.
So it is apples and oranges, but I think it is similar but different with him and LA Knight. The difference is that this has been a slow burn. This is kind of more like not what people expect. Like, people have been anticipating this happen for a long time.
I mean, people have been asking for this push for 5 years.
Last year in 2022, I think he lost the most matches out of anyone on the roster.
Wow.
So it's like this has been like a long time coming for Chad
For
Gable.
sure.
And he's always been a tag. Well, for the most part, he's always been a tag team wrestler. He had his Shorty G thing, which I don't even want to talk about. He is so deserving of this. He's so fucking good. And let me tell you something. The Intercontinental Championship, we talked about this, how it's turned into that belt.
It's prestigious.
Because it's always supposed to have been a belt that you win it, and you win it, you have a good reign, you lose it, then it takes you to the next level.
Right.
Fucking if Chad Gable is the one to beat Gunther and takes that belt off him. Gunther, awesome. Takes him to the main event picture. Chad Gable is going to have a fucking crazy run with that belt. I'm so excited for him. I hope he's the one to beat Gunther. I
think
really
so
do.
too.
I really, really do.
Yeah.
I think he deserves it. I think it makes sense. He is credible enough.
What's that match for? Did they say?
I don't think they announced it yet.
Okay.
So on Raw, or maybe the next day, they said he was 30 days away.
They'll have him break the record.
I would think it would be cool if he did, but you know how cool it would be too if like Chad Gable beats him like a day or two before he breaks the record. Like I think that would make the win feel a whole lot better. And Gunther seems like that guy where like, would the record be cool? Yeah, but I think he's just like,
Yeah, but I just want, he can't, like, he's got to beat Honky Tonk.
and
Man.
that's what we said
That's
about Roman. And so when like at WrestleMania, it's like you're so close to breaking the record. Like if you're right there, you might as well beat it. Maybe they'll announce the match like kind of like what they with like Becky and Trish. Like you think it's gonna be at a pay per view, but they say it for
when's
Raw.
the next pay per view? Or when's payback?
I think it's beginning of September. So I think it's like right before he'd break the record.
Really, September 2nd.
Yeah, it might be right before he breaks the record. So I don't know.
Interesting. Huh.
I don't know how that's gonna unfold.
I mean, again,
but
we've seen a lot of these feuds go multi matches. Gunther wins the first one.
Right.
Maybe Chad comes back and they do a stipulation, or they do a
right.
I don't know, something. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm hoping. Just give me the Iron Man match. Give me the 60-minute. Give me the 60-minute barn burner. Oh my god.
And also, not for nothing, Gunther hasn't been pinned on the main roster. So Chad would be the first guy to win the belt and pin Gunther.
It'd be huge.
That's a massive rub for him. Huge rub for him. And I hope he gets it. I really do.
Fucking even just like his like grounded suplex where he just picks the guy up and goes all the way around.
He's so good. Let's play. We haven't played this game in a while. How old is Chad Gable? I want to say mid-30s. I'm going to say 36 is my guess.
That's a tough one. I like that.
I'm going to say 36.
I like that guess. Yeah, he's older. He's older than 34. I'll go 30. I like that 30.
We can have the same one.
I'm going to go 37.
Okay.
Just to be different. 37.
Wow, on the money. There you go.
Nice,
yeah,
nice,
so
nice.
I mean, you know, he still has so much left in I mean, he looks great, unbelievable
God,
for 37. Most wrestlers do. They're in tip-top shape, but this is the perfect time for him. Like the momentum's there, the story's there, the build-up is there. Like it's going to be perfect. I can't wait.
Shinsuke Nakamura defeats Bronson Reed. We can kind of breeze over this. This is a fine match. We've seen Shinsuke and Braun a bunch. It's
repetitive.
Talking about Shinsuke later. Becky Lynch comes out, cuts a promo, and then Shayna defeats Zoe Stark later. But Becky comes out, just generic, talking about facing Trish, blah, blah, blah. Zoe interrupts. They go back and forth. Pretty, like, standard stuff. And then Becky, sitting ringside, I don't know if you know the lore about this, I think it was during the press conference or something about SummerSlam, Triple H made a comment of, like, for the people who aren't on SummerSlam, who didn't make the card or who are upset or whatever, they should consider turning lemons into lemonade.
So I didn't understand the whole lemonade. I didn't understand that reference to his drinking, and then she spit it out. Makes sense. I didn't know he said that during the press conference. Gotcha. Yeah, that makes a lot more sense.
The night or the day of SummerSlam, Becky posted on her Instagram of her making lemonade.
I'll be honest with you. So I thought it was like another like ad or sponsorship thing because they did a Mike's Hard Lemonade campaign and stuff. So I'm like, oh, it must be just something with that. But obviously
and then
not.
She's like the best at this like multimedia story where she'll like post something on Instagram and that'll get taken into the match, or she'll have a prop or something. She's so good at. Hot take?
No hot take. It's because of Instagram made me think of it. So you haven't, but I don't know if you've heard, because WWE and Fortnite have a little collaboration. Becky Lynch and Bianca Belair are going to be in Fortnite.
That's awesome.
They posted a picture on Instagram of them holding the pickaxes.
I think I saw it.
And
I think
there's a tweet. There's like the renders leaked. I'm going to tell you something. Out of all like again, I'm now we're getting to like video game stuff. They like recreate like like people in movies or like famous people, whatever, like John Cena, whatever you see, like these two, the leak of how they look is genuinely one of the most like pinpoint, like accurate, like of someone. Like it's actually so insane how much they look like them.
Oh yeah.
And then Bianca, I think Bianca's a little better than Becky, but they're both really good.
Oh yeah, Bianca's is crazy.
They're both really good, right?
Yeah,
Bianca's
they are good.
is really cool. So I will be spending money when that drops. You get it's a package. So you get both of them. You get 2 pickaxes, and then the thing is, if you win a match, you get an emote where you lift up the WWE Championship and stuff.
Oh, how much is this running?
It's gonna be 2,400 V-bucks. So that'll probably be about a little less than $20. But hey, it's worth it. It's worth it.
It'll be 2,400 V. Why'd you give me that first instead of the dollars? You said V-bucks first. You fucking idiot. What do you?
That's how much it's gonna be.
How much is it gonna cost? Oh, it's gonna run me about 2,400
So
V-bucks.
I mean, so Fortnite currency about $2,400.
2,400 V-bucks. Fucking what?
That's as soon as I've been checking the shop the last 3 days, just because it's like supposed to come out very soon. So I'm just always refreshing it, and the second I see it, I'm spending money. I'm gonna buy it immediately.
Bro, I got Dunkin' this morning. It's so expensive. That shit was like 1,600 V-bucks. Only know things in V-bucks.
I got my Fortnite credit card.
Oh my god.
But yeah,
My Spotify bill is due. It was 10,000 V-bucks.
So yeah, to all the Fortnite players out there that haven't heard about that, that's something to look out for.
Breaking news.
Guys, I have breaking. This is inside
I think
information.
I know. This is. I think this will be a TikTok.
Yeah, you think so? I think that would be a great one.
But yeah, this was. They're doing the match.
back to wrestling. Back to Raw.
They're doing the match in
next week. That's Monday.
Yeah, but it's in
Canada,
Montreal.
Yeah, somewhere
wherever Trish
is from. Yeah.
Yeah, cool, whatever. Ludwig defeats Otis. After backstage, Ludwig is trying to schmooze Maxine. Otis kind of defends her. That sets up the match. Blah blah blah. Gunther attacks Otis. Kaiser gets the win. Gable runs in to make the save, and Gunther and Gable have a little bit of a stare down. This is fine. I've been warming up to more of the Alpha Academy stuff as the weeks go by. I think Maxine Dupree is great. I think she's funny.
I think it's cool that they're like having Otis go up against like the rest of Imperium. Mm-hmm. So it's like it's a big storyline. Yeah. You know what I mean? I like the addition of that. LA Nightmares, we already kind of...
Oh, yeah, we kind of... Yeah. Ah, cool. Okay, we talked about that.
Yeah, we can skip over that.
New Day return to defeat the Viking Raiders. Didn't realize how much I missed the New Day.
Oh, they're awesome, man. Did you hear about... What Biggie...
his doctors... The doctors had advised
him not to wrestle again. Yeah, it's
tough. It's tough. I'm glad at least, like...
I'm
glad he's still... I'm glad he's still around, because, like... Up, Down, Down has been like releasing some like videos and stuff, and he's still like, he's still in like WWE content. Right. He's still doing interviews.
And I've heard that he's kind of like been talking to people backstage. Maybe he gets into like a commentator position, which would be great because he's super entertaining, super just energetic. I think that would be great, but tough. It sucks, man. It's really sad.
Really, really nice that I'm glad he won the WWE Championship.
That was the first thing I thought of when I saw him. Like, I'm very happy he had his moment.
God.
I'm so happy he had his moment before. Unfortunately, he may have to retire. So I'm happy
we're no doctors here. Edge was told. Edge had neck injury.
Same with Daniel Bryan. Crazy things happen. I hope to see him in a ring one day, but at the same time, like. He's aware of this, which I'm happy about. Like he said, like I want to live a good life. I don't want to, all that stuff. So as long as he's happy and all that, I'm happy that he's happy. But it still stinks.
But yeah, shout out the New Day. Cool, good to see them back. I mean, they even like backstage. They even were like, things have been crazy. Like the Usos are breaking up. Judgment Day is running wild. So I'm excited for more New Day matches.
Yeah, freshens things up a little bit.
Judgment Day versus what was supposed to be Seth, Cody, and Sami, but backstage, Sami is attacked by... Remind me, who was he attacked by?
JD.
Okay, he was attacked by Judgment. All right, JD.
Not Judgment, JD.
Yes. Oh, that's confusing.
JD McDonough, I think.
McDonough.
McDonough, yeah. His elbow.
Shinsuke Yeah, I didn't. Yeah, what the fuck was up with that?
I don't know if that's been a thing for. I never noticed that before. Like in the opening segment, I didn't like. Obviously, I'm not looking for his elbow or anything like that.
I don't know if that did he injure it at that moment?
I have no clue. It's the same thing that Cena had years ago. I'm sure you saw the side by side compare. There's a picture of the side by side.
Maybe he.
Yeah, there it is.
Oh yeah. Oh fuck. Oh jeez.
It's like a so it's not an elbow. It's kind of like a tricep injury that causes that. I really hope it's not anything that serious because he's hurt. Kevin's obviously hurt right now. Man, that would really suck if they had to relinquish the belts or something happened because they're both injured. That would really blow. But yeah, that's obviously legit.
That's crazy.
It's legit. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
But so Shinsuke takes his place. Fun main event. They all got their spots, and it was kind of a classic, coexisting sort of thing. I kind of mentioned this earlier, but Finn and Damien were working a little too in tandem for my liking for the story.
Mm-hmm. It's just kind of like they're going at each other and they try to patch things up and they're like good for a little bit and then something else is going to happen. It's weird how it's like kind of up and down.
Cody gets the win for the team. They're all celebrating. Really cool moment. Everyone's on the ring apron. Shinsuke is not on the ring apron. Shinsuke hits a Kinshasa.
Love it. I love it.
Seth Rollins. This was fucking awesome.
Really cool
Walks
moment.
away just with the fucking
Cody's like
swag.
Cody's like, what the fuck was that about? Yeah.
Give me more Shin and Seth.
It has
Give me
to be.
Shin and Cody.
It needs to be Shin and Seth at Payback because people are saying it's going to be Cody Seth. I want them to stay away. This in this sense, whatever. But don't just throw them on a card. That's too big.
I honestly want. I want someone new to have the world title, just because again, I think we mention this every week, but I want the world title to have winners and losers. Let's give Shin this fucking win.
I agree.
I would love to see.
I would love to see
win.
Shin win the World Heavyweight Championship. I don't know if this is the time for him to do it though. I love the idea of it. I just think everything with Seth and the Judgment Day. I don't think if and when Damien cashes in, I think Seth's going to be involved in it. I can't see Shin winning the belt and then he cashes in on Shin. You know what I mean? From a storyline standpoint.
From a storyline standpoint, yeah, but I could see them taking the easy
It could be a
route
swerve.
and doing that. Because I think they'd rather have Shin take a loss than Seth. And Shin gets the cash in, and that's the transition.
Yeah, I guess.
Just in the sake of safety.
It's kind of similar with the Drew McIntyre thing. I think there just needs to be a little bit more build there. I can see it happening 1,000% in the future. I just don't think he just turned on him this Monday. I don't think he's going to win the belt 3 weeks later at a pay-per-view.
But also, arguably, I wonder, Shin's he loves to surf. He's been wanting to surf.
He's a big surfer.
Is this Shin's last main event run?
Yeah, I would be fine if I would love to see Shin finally win a world championship because, in my opinion, he should have won it at WrestleMania 34 against AJ. That was that was just an ultimate missed opportunity. So it would be very nice and refreshing to see him finally win a world title, but. Again, I'm looking at it from the bigger picture, the storyline standpoint. It wouldn't make too much sense, but I would think it would be very cool if he did win.
What do you say we touch on so we round out this show with some All In stuff, some Dynamite. All In is coming up at the end of August, looking like a crazy show. Mm-hmm. We'll go. Dynamite was sick last night. Dynamite was really good.
I admittedly didn't watch Dynamite last night.
It was good. You should watch at least the because you're a Jeff Hardy guy. The Hardys and
I saw some highlights. I'll watch some stuff on YouTube.
It's definitely not one of their they had classics years ago. Definitely wasn't anything like that.
Yeah.
The Hardys are aging a little bit, but
what are you talking about?
This is what we are looking at for the card. We'll start at the top. MJF versus Adam Cole. That's going to be fun. Yep. Excited for that.
I saw MJF's line. He goes, "You're so pale and white that if this was the 80s, Hulk Hogan would have been snorting you." I thought that was fucking awesome.
So that was where I forget what it was, but Adam Cole wanted to. Adam Cole was like, I want to talk. I want to say something to you. And MJF was like, "Oh, I get it.
Yeah, like
you want to have a promo battle." And then MJF, which was fucking so, because you could tell oh, you want a pro? Okay. And then he just transitions into it, and he starts going into his promo stuff, and he's like, "You're so pale," and then Adam Cole's like, Max, no. No, I thought that was great.
That was great.
And then just announced Darby Allin and Sting versus the Mogul Embassy of AR Fox and Swerve Strickland. I like this. There's a lot of build with the Mogul Embassy as of late. Swerve is
He's awesome.
Brilliant.
He's great, yeah.
Sting and Darby still holding on together. They are putting together a 4-way match for the AEW Women's World Championship. Toni Storm is in the 4 because she got a bye because of the...
Oh, okay. I didn't know if people were announced for this match. I just kept saying,
no.
I just kept seeing like fatal 4-way match, but I couldn't see anyone that was announced.
So Toni Storm got the bye because of a rematch clause.
Okay.
Hikaru Shida defended the title against Anna Jay last night, so she got the advancement. And then next we got Saraya. This is wrong. It's oh, I guess is that a spoiler? I'm not sure. Either way, it's going to be Saraya versus Sky Blue to advance, and then it's going to be Britt Baker versus the Bunny to advance.
Okay, so...
But that might be not have happened.
So it's probably going to be Saraya and Britt Baker.
I want Sky Blue.
Yeah.
I think Sky Blue should be in this match.
That would be a cool addition, but I think just with Tony being in there, you could have like little Saraya Tony shenanigans.
Yeah,
I think storyline, it makes sense.
I also want the Bunny in this too. I mean, I don't know. And then, fucking love this. Officially, FTR versus the Young Bucks. Match 3.
That's going to be a match.
That's
match of the night candidate right
so
there.
excited.
That's match of the night candidate.
And then Adam Cole had this idea. Yup. Adam Cole had this idea. He said this is what he wanted to bring up. Adam Cole said, look, this was because you're an Adam Cole guy. He said, I've never won. Like, I've been to ROH and I've done this. I've done that. I've never won the ROH Tag Team Championships.
Wow, I didn't know that was for this.
He said, I really want to win the ROH Tag Team Championships. I think we didn't win the AEW ones, but I think we can win these. He said, before our main event, let's me and you tag to win the ROH Championships. To go into their main event as ROH Tag Team Championships. And Max goes, let me get this straight. You not only want me to wrestle once in the same night, you want me to wrestle twice in the same night? He goes, what are you, some sort of sick pervert? Which is so funny.
I'm going to watch this promo on YouTube later.
He's been like using that as of late. What are you, some sort of sick pervert? It's so
funny.
But yeah. So,
damn, I thought it was going to be like...
It's on Dark. Or not on Dark. It's on the... Whatever they call that pre-show. It's on the pre-show. Aussie Open versus Better Than You, baby. On the pre-show.
I knew that the whole ROH tag team thing, I heard about that. I thought it was going to be like a week before. Wow.
Fucking sick.
Now I wonder, would that be the match where someone turns on someone and then they go into the match against each other? I mean, I don't know. I don't think that would happen, but that's a possibility now.
I'm also convinced, and we didn't mention it last week, but I'm convinced Adam Cole is turning on MJF.
I think at this point I agree with you.
It's the swerve.
So I didn't mention this.
Oh.
So I think it was last week when they agreed. He gave him the contract and said we'll fight it all in. Maybe it wasn't this. There was some moment in time. It could have been this, but people will know what I'm talking about. They hug. Mm-hmm. Okay. Mm-hmm. And this is just, it could be just such a weird coincidence. It could be whatever. There's a picture in NXT where Adam Cole is hugging. I believe it was Roderick Strong. I could be wrong. It was one of like maybe it was Kyle O'Reilly. It was someone in the Undisputed Era. He hugs him, right? Mm-hmm. But instead of like a normal hug, he does this, stabbing him in the back.
Oh.
When him and MJF hugged, he did that, stabbing him in the back.
Really?
Now,
was it this?
I forget what. I think it was the contract. Maybe it wasn't like one of their first hugs. It was.
It wasn't.
No, it was like
no. It was their second hug. No.
There's a picture. See if just look up hug stab in the back on Twitter maybe.
Did you see it on Twitter?
I saw it on Twitter. Yeah.
Okay. Wait, let's see. This is not the MJF and Adam Cole hug it out. It's not the hug.
No, it's not this one. It wasn't after a match.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, go on Twitter and type in hug stab in the back. Again, it could be a coincidence. It could just be hand placement. But bro, I will tell you, talk about long-term storytelling.
Oh, here we go. Okay. You see fist. No. Okay. Oh, okay, I'll go back a little. Okay, here we go.
Yep.
Okay, hugging him.
Hold on.
Okay.
Hold on. Right there. See how he just did that? See how he just did the quick?
Hold on.
I'm just saying, dude. I'm just saying. He goes from open palm to that.
No, that's
I'm just telling you,
dude.
But he did that before in NXT. So that they were friends at the time. He did that and then turned.
But that we didn't. It wasn't this. It was this.
No, he was like that. Look, go back.
Let's see.
It was open. No, bro.
He's like this. He's like this.
Look, no, it's like this.
No, it's not. I don't think so.
Hey, look at that.
Oh,
that one.
Oh,
I'm not
sorry.
talking about
I'm looking at. Oh, I thought you were saying MJ.
No.
Oh,
Adam Cole. Adam Cole. Look, open palm.
Oh, right. You said NXT. Right.
Open palm. Boom. Could be a weird coincidence, but I'm just saying, if that is the case, talk about fucking a callback. That's
interesting. I mean,
right?
it does.
How do you go from this to this at the last second?
I think this might be to Adam Cole's credit of how good of an actor and a storyteller he is, but like when you see like in Pat, like I've seen in Pat, and you kind of and then just like you're my guy, like you're my
sure.
I've seen that, but
they have done callbacks. Their first ever promo, MJF was quoting Adam Cole when he was going up against Karrion Kross for the NXT belt back in like 2020.
That's interesting.
So they've made some callbacks in the past.
He did do it when he's on the hard camera too.
Yep.
You know,
I'm just saying, dude. I don't know if there's like another one like where they show like the actual one from NXT, because I saw the side by side. Yeah, it's just
NXT.
It's very coincidental. If that's true, bro, that's so good. That's so good.
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna be able to find
I don't know if we'll find it, but
interesting.
People in the comments will know what I'm talking about. I'm sure they may have seen it on Twitter, but
especially if it's because Roderick's involved in the story. So if it was to Roderick, that'd be crazy.
Yeah,
wow,
great, dude. That's great storytelling if that's the case. Yep.
I'm curious to see. Wow. All right, some MJ, not MJF stuff, AEW stuff. Jericho Appreciation Society breaking up.
Yeah, I kind of saw a few things there. Yeah,
everyone kind of gives their 2 cents. I mean, Jericho is kind of aligning himself with Don Callis, and they're all they're breaking up. I mean, Jericho Appreciation Society hasn't really been a thing for. I mean, they've all technically been in the group, but Sammy's been doing his thing. Jericho's
everyone's just kind of like you're in the group, but you're not in the group. You're kind of doing your own thing.
Might as well break it up.
I've said it from the beginning. I've never really cared too much about it personally.
I always thought it was fine.
I don't know. I never was too bought into it, but
I'm hoping this leads to like some Garcia. I mean, Garcia's been being showcased.
I saw Garcia was like I did everything for you, or like I gave up everything for you, or something like that. So I hope you get something out of there too.
Matt Menard was saying like, what was it? Matt Menard told the story of Jericho bringing him into his home, getting him a job, but then conceded he knows why the guys brought up. Oh, he was saying like, I know why. He said, I know why Eddie Kingston and Kevin Steen like hate you and like that shit. Thought that was interesting. Sammy was the last one to leave. Blah blah blah. The Hardys versus the Young Bucks.
Who won?
Young Bucks.
Young Bucks. Yeah,
so
makes sense.
Young Bucks won, and then that transitioned into the FTR. They accepted the challenge. This was good. I fucking love the Hardys.
Jeff looked good.
Jeff did look good.
He looked good.
He did look good. But at this age is definitely, this wasn't the matches they had, whatever that was, 3, 4, 5 years
like
ago.
ROH and shit like that. Yeah.
But this was fun to revisit and kind of see like the stepping stone of like the Young Bucks, almost like a passing the torch moment, maybe.
Sure. Yeah.
You could even say, but this was the match for it is what it was, but yeah, I mean the FTR, and like FTR came out and they had a little head to head, and yeah, fucking sick.
Cool.
Blah 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 blah. FTW Championship, RVD.
Bro, I saw some clips on Twitter. He looks great still, bro. He really does.
He hit a spinning leg drop to like Jack. Like Jack was like over the barrier, and he was like, it was like from the apron to the barrier. He has this spinning leg drop. RVD's fucking sick still. Jack Perry ended up winning. Makes sense. I don't think RVD's here for a long time.
Yeah.
This is cool. I mean, I just loved seeing RVD back in the ring.
Yeah, I'll have to. Like I told you, like when I miss shows, I usually go on YouTube and kind of watch matches back. So that'll be a match I'll go back and watch.
Kind of already touched on the MJF and Adam Cole stuff. Roderick Strong. I'm just not. I mean, like what MJF says about Roderick Strong is how I genuinely feel.
What was he saying about?
How he's just like a creator wrestler.
Oh, yeah.
He's just generic and boring, and he's I got nothing. Even when he comes out, he's like in the neck brace, and he's like, pleading with Adam Cole and whatever, and it's just like, I'm not. I
liked him a lot in NXT. It made like the whole Undisputed Era group was so good, but yeah, I don't really.
I get why he's in the story; it makes sense, but whatever. Oh, they had this wicked funny video thing where remember in Boston how MJF and Adam Cole went to Kowloon?
Yep.
So they went to Adam Cole's idea for this week was they go to a trampoline park, and they did this. I was like cracking up. They went to a trampoline park, and Adam Cole is like, Max, look how high I can jump. He's having a ball, and he's like, yeah, they have dodgeball here, and MJF is like, wait, they have dodgeball here. Okay, maybe this place isn't as bad. And there's just a montage of MJF humming dodgeballs at kids, like whacking kids in the face with dodgeballs.
I don't watch this back. That sounds awesome.
And there's this girl, like Adam Cole comes up and he's like, oh, stop. And there's this little girl that comes up. You could tell they did this in one take because the little girl comes up and she's like, I forget what she said, but she's like, you guys suck, and she flips him off and kind of disses the two of them, and Adam Cole's like, all right, one more. And MJF fucking winds up. It was fucking
that
awesome.
Sounds hilarious, and I bet you that was incredibly entertaining. That how funny it would be if it was like a Comic-Con thing or like a video game convention or something.
That would have been funny
dragging
too.
MJF to something like that, like cosplaying shit.
Mm-hmm.
Then that would have been funny. I'll check that out.
That's what I love. Like their dynamic is MJF just thinks he's a fucking nerd.
Yeah, that's so great.
But with this stuff with the Roderick Strong, there was a moment of, Adam Cole kind of shoved, because MJF was just going at Roderick.
And that's Cole's friend.
Right.
Stuff,
so there was still that moment of Adam, Adam Cole was like, I can be friends with both of you, whatever. So, they ended up reconciling after, but there's a little bit of, frustration.
There's some there. Absolutely.
A match that you would have thought I made. The Lucha Brothers versus Blackpool Combat
John booked
Club.
Dynamite this week.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
God, I fucking love this. Blackpool Combat Club won. They ended up beating the shit out of the Lucha Bros. But God, I'm just happy to see the Lucha Brothers back on TV more. They are so fucking good. I'm a big Penta fan, but whenever I see Ray Phoenix, I'm not sure how you pronounce
FedEx.
it. I always think if I was 10, 11 years old right now,
he'd be
Ray Phoenix would be my favorite wrestler.
He'd be like your
He'd be my Rey Mysterio.
That's funny.
I fucking love the two of them, and also I love Mox is so good. It was Mox and Claudio.
I like what they said. There was an interview. I don't know if it was I don't know if it was like a regular interview. I don't know what it was from, but they were talking about like how they're together, they train together, and they make each other better and stuff. And he's like how like even when Rigo left, like he's still in our group chat and stuff. I think it was like a normal interview somewhere else, but I liked hearing that about how like close they are and shit like that. That's really cool.
They were coming off of which this happened on Rampage or Collision.
They had like a parking lot match. I think it was Rampage.
The parking lot. I watched it. The parking lot brawl was so fucking sick.
I have to watch that too. I've been lacking on AEW the last few weeks.
It was Best Friends versus Blackpool Combat Club. I mean, it felt like a SmackDown versus Raw fucking parking lot brawl. Sue came out with her minivan. Everyone was busted open. People are going through the windshields. It was a ball.
That's cool.
But anyway, it just fucking unreal match. It ends with Yuta interfering, and then Penta is about to hit John with something. Claudio comes in, takes the mask off Penta, and then Mox gets the roll up. He's Penta's covering his face, whatever. Claudio puts on the mask, which is a fucking sick. That's
a cool touch.
See if I can find the Claudio Penta mask. Whoops, spelled all that wrong. Holy shit.
A panda
Jesus
mask?
Christ, panda mask. That's what I want. Penta Yeah, he just
That's
and he does
that's
he does
awesome.
Settle, miedo.
That's awesome.
Really, really cool
Really cool
storytelling. They
touch.
beat the shit out of them post match, and Blackpool Combat Club stood tall. Fought fire with fire, making sure that the heels unmasked. Blah blah. Yeah, I mean, I'm glad. People are saying Blackpool Combat Club might be breaking up soon. I don't know. I think they're so dominant. I love them. I also just someone had to win, someone had to lose. I want to see more. The Lucha Brothers are my fucking favorite. Let's get more of them. Also, there's so much to talk about. CM Punk retained against Ricky Starks.
Yep.
Over the weekend. That was Collision. We don't really touch on Collision too much, but important to note. Ricky Starks turns heel. He's beating the shit out of Ricky Steamboat, whatever. But I am invested for what it's worth. I'm invested enough in this whole who's the real AEW champion, where it's
eventually
CM
there's going to be a
Punk has
payoff eventually.
Sure.
I think.
We got a text. Sophia?
I was going to say, I think I
Doors
may have heard a
locked.
knock. Yeah, I'll get it.
Okay, I'll wrap up here. I'm wrapping up with Dynamite anyway. Yeah, it's like a maze to get out of here. We talked about this earlier. Darby Allin and Sting. I love this Mogul Embassy stuff. Swerve is on top of his game. I love like the Nick Wayne and Sting stuff. It's my door that was locked?
Yes.
Oh. Where is she?
She's coming.
Oh, I was like...
All right.
Blah, blah, blah. Main event, we also talked about this when we were going on the card. Hikaru Shida defeats Anna Jay. I also just fucking love Hikaru Shida.
She's awesome.
She also
She's
might be my number one in terms of the best performer right now. I don't know. It's the women's division. AEW needs to book the women's division better, but like the crop of talent between WWE and AEW now in their women's division is
really good.
Strong.
Yep.
I think WWE probably has the upper hand, especially
I would say so, yeah.
Especially with
NXT is really fucking good
yeah,
too.
that's what I'm hearing.
They have one of the best.
I'm trying to make an effort to watch because people are claiming, and rightfully so, probably, that NXT was has and is like the best show of the year and the best show currently.
Shawn Michaels, Booker of the Year. He's doing a phenomenal job in NXT.
I got to.
It's a lot of wrestling.
I gotta choose. Am I gonna watch NXT? Am I gonna watch? And usually Tuesday, I go to the movies sometimes on Tuesdays. So I don't know.
It's a lot of wrestling. That's a show that I watch the YouTube videos. Like I watch like the Dom Dragon Lee match on YouTube and stuff like that.
Might be a good like Hulu one because I think Hulu condenses it. It's still like long, but it's still like a little condensed. But that's that. I'm looking forward to. I mean, I think the women's Fatal 4-Way, I think, is gonna sneaky be match of the night contender. I mean, it's shaping. It's Shida, Tony already, and it's gonna be either Saraya or Sky Blue again. I hope it's Sky Blue. I think that's happened. I'm not sure if that happened on Rampage or what happened. Britt Baker and Bunny, I'm big fans of. We are talking about FTR and the Bucks, the third match, the rubber match. Oh my fucking god!
All In is shaping up to be a great show.
All In is shaping, and it's still shaping up. That's the thing.
Only 5 matches. They'll have a lot more.
But that's coming in past 2 hours.
Definitely the longest podcast.
Have we cracked 2?
I don't think
feel
so.
like
I think we've may have been like an hour 50. We may have been right under it.
Let's look at the WrestleMania. Not to pad the
WrestleMania would have been the one.
I was gonna say if anything, it was WrestleMania, or at least the predictions maybe. Hour 52 post Mania. Hour 48 WrestleMania. So this might be
what's that?
What?
Is that it right there?
This is the Mania predictions. This is Mania predictions. This is post Mania.
I think this is the longest.
This might be the longest one.
Hope you guys like it, because we talked about Roman for the first 40 minutes of it.
I know. I knew we were gonna.
How could we not? Yeah.
All right. Thank you for watching. If you made it this far,
God bless you. What are we gonna say? There was something we said at the beginning that I thought of, but I fucking forgot. High Horse.
I was thinking that, but I want it to be genuine.
Okay.
But I appreciate that.
Yeah, all right.
You know what?
Fuck it.
No. We'll go back. Yeah, we'll go back. Stream High Horse.
Stream High Horse.
Okay, I'll do that. Because remember when we did the set? I think I made the phrase "cool set," and then people started commenting that, and I was like, well, I don't know if they actually mean it. You know what I mean? So
That's
not
fair.
no descriptive, but like if you made it this far, stream High Horse. If you have streamed it, let me know what you think. But yeah, High Horse out everywhere: Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Tidal, SoundCloud, Audio Mac. It's everywhere. Appreciate it. Follow us on everything. The cards are there.
It's time to do some quizzes.
Yeah, big day ahead of us. Big day. Stay on the lookout for some announcements coming soon in terms of... That's a merch announcement. Stay on the lookout.
But until then, peace out.